much more. I'll check out their grids with tons of in-store savings. Fleet Supply True Value, your complete farm and home store, located at 1800 First Avenue Northeast. Behind every project is a True Value. Go Flyers.
When you need your garbage removed, call Bob Lemire Roll-Off and Refuse in Little Falls. Locally owned and operated, Bob Lemire
Welcome to Little Falls Community High School Football Senior Night 2018. Tonight, we're here to recognize the commitments and contributions of our seniors and their parents to Little Falls football. To the seniors, thank you for your strong commitment to the football program. Your determination, pride, and leadership are honored by our coaches, your teammates, your school, and the community. We salute your accomplishments and wish you the best in whatever path you choose. To the parents,
next up, joined by Dan Essler, the head coach for the New London Spicer Wildcats. And Dan, it's been a good year for the Wildcats. 5 wins in a row, including last week a pretty handy victory over Malacca at home. Talk about the year overall, especially last week's performance. How you think the squad has been performing very recently?
Been playing very well. Both offensive line, defensive line been performing very well. Our backs, receivers, quarterbacks, I think we've only had 3 incompletions out of about 25 passes. So Edelman is playing really well. Special teams, we had 2 kick returns for touchdowns the last few weeks. A punt return for touchdowns, so everything's really starting to come together right now.
And football is a game that starts in the trenches, and by reputation, sounds like you got a couple of really good line players for the Wildcats this year.
Yeah, we do. We're pretty senior-laden in there. We do have one junior there in Wasmick, but we're right around that 6'3", 6'4", around 265, 270 on the front line on an average, and they're pretty athletic kids as well.
And for New London Spicer on the road here tonight against Little Falls, what is it about the Flyers that you've been preparing for this week in practice?
Preparing for the trap on the inside with their fullback, and then number 11 off tackle or on sweeps in the passing game. It's trying to cover everybody up and make sure that we'll try to maybe blitz them, obviously, to see if we can't get to the quarterback a little bit. But the fullback is a real player on the inside.
And the Wildcats, you talked about the passing game a little bit, but also it sounds like a pretty good rushing attack for the Wildcats. If you only had to throw about 25 times, must mean a lot of runs on the year.
Yeah, we've been very successful running the ball. I think we're right around 8.3 yards to carry, and that's counting our JV kids playing near the end of the game. I think our 2 top backs are at 8.2 and 10.6 yards per carry. So, they've been playing outstanding, and the line's been blowing big holes for them as well.
And what types of backs are they? Sometimes you get those bulldozing type backs that are going to run north and south, and you can have shifty backs trying to break the ankles. How would you describe the running backs, especially the top 2 backs for the Wildcats?
Our top back actually is out the last 2 weeks, Stageberg. He hurt his foot against Litchfield. He'll be back against Albany on Wednesday. But number 82, our fullback, is a big boy. He's 6'3", 235, and he's our fastest and biggest and strongest kid that we have on the team. And then we got a tailback tonight, and Gideon Mitchell is right around 190, 195, and he's right up there being one of the one. He was an all-state track kid in the sprints as well. So we got some speed back there and some big bruising size.
And we're talking with Dan Essler, the head coach for the New London Spicer Wildcats. And Dan, it sounds like this team is primed for possibly a long playoff run. What would be the keys to victory, not just tonight, but moving forward, and the Wildcats hoping for a long playoff run? What is it that this team does when they're at their best that they'll try and duplicate here tonight?
Really use our speed. Obviously, we have a lot of size, but we can use our speed. Even though our linemen are big, we only got one guy that's probably a little on the slow side. Even our linemen are fast. So using our speed, controlling the ball. We've only had a couple fumbles on the year. 3 interceptions were in the first game. Other than that, we haven't turned the ball over maybe 5 times all year. Take the first game out of it, only twice. So just taking care of the football and using our speed.
Dan Essler, head coach for the New London Spicer Wildcats. Thank you very much for your time and all the help here tonight,
67.
Dan. And when we come back, as we continue more pregame coverage, right now seniors are being honored at midfield, and we'll be joined by the head coach of Little Falls Flyers, Joe Bartos. Our pregame interview with the Flyer coach, Joe Bartos, next, AM 960 KLTF, fallsradio.com.
Leonard Winter & Company is a regional independent CPA firm that's dedicated to serving clients with professionalism and integrity. The firm's professional staff's attention to detail and personal touch promote excellent working relationships with their clients. The firm focuses on serving accounting, tax, and business consulting needs of their business, individual, not-for-profit, and governmental clients. Leonard Wenner and Company in Little Falls, Albany, St. Cloud, Monticello, and Maple Lake, providing high-quality, value-added professional service since 1964.
Whether you have been injured, suffer from chronic pain or illness, or are recovering from surgery, Advanced Physical Therapy in Little Falls helps bring muscle function back so you can once again enjoy life to its fullest. Put your trust in the physical therapist with over 30 years of experience where comfort and priority. Physical Therapy will work with your doctor to care that is individualized specifically for you. With an entire team working on your behalf, you can't go wrong when you choose Advanced Physical Therapy.
Build your savings and is Mid-Minnesota Federal Credit Union's Prize-Linked Savings Account. Each time you increase your savings balance by $25, you're entered into the drawing. Up to 4 entries per month. Prize drawings occur monthly, quarterly, and annually. You could even end up winning the grand prize of $5,000. Get complete details at Mid-Minnesota today. Mid-Minnesota Federal Credit Union. We're with you all the way. Federally insured by NCUA. Certain restrictions apply. Drawings take place the 10th of every month.
AM 960 KLTF, FallsRadio.com. It's time for tonight's pregame interview with the Flyer head coach Joe Bartos, brought to you by Peterson Body Shop in Little Falls. If you've been in an accident, Peterson Body Shop has loaner cars and a lifetime guarantee on workmanship. Over 50 years of excellence, Peterson Body Shop is your best decision after a collision. In our Get to Know Him segment, we have the opportunity. Oh, let's pause 1 second here to get this reset here. We're visiting with Joe Bartos, the head coach for the Little Falls Flyers. Let's try this one more time. Thank you for your patience. Joe Bartos, head coach for the Little Falls Flyers, joining us in pregame coverage. And Joe, as we head into this one, before we talk about the contest, there's a lot going on here tonight with the last home game of the year, and it's senior night, parent night, tackle cancer night. Let's start with tackle cancer night. How did this start going and now continue the tradition here in Little Falls tonight?
Well, a number of years ago, Randy Shaver began this tradition for kind of opened it up and invited football teams from across the state of Minnesota to participate in the tackle cancer night. One night a year. Just to really raise funds for obviously tackle cancer research and whatnot. And I think it started about a decade ago or so, and this has kind of continued to grow and grow. And at this point, it's kind of one of those really fun traditions that we have in Minnesota football. We've adopted it here in Little Falls as well.
And glad to continue that tradition here tonight as funds are being raised at the admission and plenty of spots to give for the tackle cancer funds. But this is also a special night because of the last home game. You got senior night and parents night. Let's talk first about the parents because they've been involved with this program. When you have kids in football, that means the parents are involved too.
Absolutely. You know, when they're younger, obviously you can't get to practice or get to a game without mom or dad picking you up. And even as they continue to grow through middle school and especially into high school, there's a lot of emotional support that comes into play in a sport like this. It's a very physical game, obviously, and it's different. And to have those parents support these kids throughout the years and to continue to support us as a program, that's a big deal, and we want to make sure that we honor them.
And then when we talk about the senior class, a lot of things come to mind. What are some of the first words and descriptions that you think of with this year's senior class on senior night?
Some nice leadership from this group this year. They're just a very positive, optimistic group that has continued to work throughout the last 4 years. I can't say enough about them. It's a great group of guys.
We've been impressed with the poise, too, with those get-to-know-them segments we've enjoyed here throughout the course of the regular season. Looking ahead now to tonight's football contest, boy, this is going to be a tough challenge. New London Spicer on film. They look pretty impressive. What is it that they do so well that the Flyers have to really try and have a plan to attack here tonight?
Yeah, they're big, strong, and fast. This is a well-put-together football team, and again, they look like they're poised for a pretty good run in the playoffs. It'll be fun to watch them. As far as what we need to do offensively and defensively, we have to play within ourselves. This is not the night where you get goofy with your game plan on either side of the football. You got to stick with your stuff and say, all right, we have to execute what it is that we've been working on all year long, and that's what we have to hang our hat on tonight.
And for Little Falls, early in the season, they had some trouble stopping teams 3 plays in a row. They got some turnovers, but it was tough forcing the punts. They had got a little bit better here on that the last few weeks. Is that just a result of individual and team play overall, or is there something different where the Flyers have been able to get off the field on third down?
There's a few different things. The game plans continue to mature, obviously, on defense and special teams and offense. Certainly the experience that these kids have gained. Again, we stepped into the season, we had 3 guys who had any varsity experience or meaningful varsity experience in their past. So again, week by week, rep by rep in a game, it's on-the-job training, and as the kids continue to see more things at game speed, they're getting wiser, they're getting more astute, understanding the game and how everything is put together. And certainly some better team play and getting the kids to understand that we need to rally around and we can't have just one guy at the ball. We need to have 2, 3, 4 guys in the football.
And week 7 of high school football, you've got 2 games now in the next 5 days, including here tonight and next Wednesday at Malacca. Health of the team, you're 6 football games in of nearly a full-length season. How's the health of the team? Any individuals looking forward to coming back from any injuries in the coming weeks?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get Derek Kirk back next week, but we do have a few other guys who are banged up, and unfortunately some of their seasons are over. Nothing catastrophic, but when you look kind of at the calendar and what's going on, it's going to be a little bit tougher as far as being able to come back in the next few weeks. But yeah, definitely we're going to get a couple guys back next week, and that'll certainly help against Malacca.
And we're going to come back with
Actually, we're going to keep it right here. We're going to continue our pregame interview. As our pregame interview with Flyer head coach Joe Bartos has been brought to us by Peterson Body Shop in Little Falls. But as we move forward with our keys to the game, the keys to the game are brought to us by millsauto.com on AM 960 KLTF, fallsradio.com. And once again, on this home regular season game, we're partnering with Flyer Media Productions tonight, too, and proud to do so. Next up, our keys to the game, millsauto.com.
Joe Bartos, as we continue our pregame interview here, keys to victory for Little Falls. They get the opportunity to play at home one more time. What does Little Falls need to do to have a really good showing? Results, whether they are in favor of Little Falls, either way tonight, but what do the Flyers need to do to feel good about their performance tonight?
We need to play within ourselves. And we talked to the kids before we came out here. We're going to play above the line, which means we need to play our best game, position by position, group by group, unit by unit, play within ourselves, play as hard and fast as we possibly can, and the rest will take care of itself.
Joe Bartos, head coach for the Flyers, thank you very much for your time. Best of luck tonight, Coach.
Thank you, Corey. Appreciate it.
We really do appreciate the help of the coaching staffs for New London Spicer and Little Falls with this evening's broadcast. We'll be back with the starting lineups and opening kickoff in 1 minute. You're listening to pregame coverage. Kickoff is next. New London Spicer at Little Falls, Week 7 high school football. AM 960 KLTF, fallsradio.com.
A great way to keep your vehicle on the road is a new set of tires from Trutwin Service in Little Falls. Trutwins will do all of your vehicle's regular maintenance, oil changes, transmission service, coolant checks, and maintenance and repairs on any foreign or domestic vehicle. Stop by, set up your appointment with Tommy at Trutwin Service in Little Falls. Trutwin Service, 320-632-5141. 320-632-5141. Trutwin Service in downtown Little Falls.
At CHI St. Gabriel's Health, we're your hometown healthcare team. Our multi-specialty clinic is ready to assist with everyday needs for you and your family, no matter the age. From allergies and asthma to diabetes and heart disease, CHI St. Gabriel's Health Team is dedicated to your family's wellness. Friendly faces and expert care, all close to home. Now that's a winning combination. Schedule an appointment or wellness checkup today. CHI St. Gabriel's Health. Better every day.
AM 960 KLTF, fallsradio.com. Joel Holy, the PA announcer here at Flyer Field, is announcing the Little Falls starters. A few moments ago, while we were airing our pregame interviews, he had a chance to honor some of the seniors, and we'd like to do that right now, too, in the program. It said, to the seniors, a thank you for your strong commitment to the football program. Your determination, pride, and leadership are honored by your coaches, your teammates, your school, and the community. We salute your accomplishments and wish you the best in whatever path you choose. To the parents, thank you for your constant support and encouragement. And introducing the seniors and their parents, team managers Hannah Becker and her parents Sarah and Eugene Becker, manager Kylie McGee, her parents Chris and Carrie McGee. And for Little Falls, Teddy Lindstrom, his parents Jenny Wheeler and Ted Lindstrom, Isaiah Sloan and his parents Haley Sloan and Adrian and Katie, Derek Kirk, parents Jason and Sandy Kirk, Kristen Reedy, parents Michael and Mary Reedy,
Logan Schroeder, the parents Ryan Schroeder and Stacy and Jason Wiechek. Also Grant Litke, his parents Lori and Stephanie Litke. Colin McKinley, parents Amy and Paul McKinley. Thomas Kula, parents Tony and Val Kula. Mason Dempsey, his parents Denise and Mark Dempsey. Nicholas Garretts, the parent Brent Garretts. Luke Vensky, parents Bill and Mary Vensky. And Connor Zare, parents Carmen and Scott Zare. Ladies and gentlemen, those are your football seniors, Flyer football seniors. A special thank you to all of them for everything they have done. Next up, it's time for our kickoff here on Friday night under the lights, and New London Spicer will kick it off to Little Falls, who will receive from right to left on this Friday night. Tonight's kickoff is brought to you by the Pizza Ranch in Little Falls. Give them a call at 632-8333. Have a pizza delivered to your door while listening to Flyer football or watching on Flyer Media Productions. A squib kick is muffed momentarily at about the 29-yard line, but it looked like Little Falls got on top of it, and they'll start actually at their own 30, 1st and 10. So Little Falls hosting New London Spicer here tonight. Also on our other radio stations, we'll have score updates throughout the course of the evening. Piers is at Painesville, that game on our sister station FM 94. And on 92.1 FM WYRQ, it's the USA Patriots at Royalton. Piers and Royalton are both undefeated, 6-0 entering Week 7 high school football. Flyers come out with a single wide receiver set, 3 backs in the backfield. And it's a handoff to the tailback. Sloan's tripped up behind the line of scrimmage and fell forward. Maybe got back to the original line. A short gain. Little Falls will have it. 2nd down and a long 9 upcoming for the Flyer offense. Starting, Austin Udy, a sophomore quarterback. We'll visit with him next week in our Get to Know Him segment. The offensive line tackles Zach Nelson and Luke Vensky. The 2 guards, Thomas Kula and Mason Dempsey. Here's a play. It's a handoff, and this one hit behind the line of scrimmage. Going to be a loss of about 4 yards as the defensive line got penetration for the Wildcats. Battling that defensive line, the 2 guards, Mason Dempsey and Thomas Kula, and Caden Kerr is the center. It's going to set up a 3rd and long, 3rd down, and about 14 yards to go after back-to-back runs netted a negative 4 yards. No chance for either run, as the Wildcats are in single coverage, no safety, but they're coming with some pressure up the middle. Everybody stacked in the box, close to the line of scrimmage. Udy is flush from the pocket. Now he escapes the initial rush, but the pursuit gets to him after a short gain. It was 3rd and 14. Udy picked up about 2 yards, scrambling to his left, but coming out of nowhere and making that stop. It was just simple pursuit that time by the lineman for the Wildcats, Peyton Madison. Listed as a strong safety, but he was playing up in the box. Everybody close to the line of scrimmage, going to be 4th down, about 12 yards to go. Little Falls goes 3 and out. The kick almost blocked, but Krupke got it away, takes a nice Flyer roll up to about the 41-yard line. New London Spicer will start out 1st and 10 from there. And by the way, 13 seconds into a game in Painesville, the Piers Pioneers are on the board, leading 7-0 after a 63-yard touchdown run by Reese Kapsner. He's had an excellent senior season. A lot of big rushing touchdowns, too, getting into the open. 63-yarder opening up the score in that Piers-Painesville game. Piers is undefeated, defending state champions in Class 3A, and New London Spicer and Piers are in that same section, likely to be seeded number 1 and 2. Everybody bunched in, double wing formation. Now the wing on the right side in motion. Handoff, tailback, hit behind the line of scrimmage. The ball came out. Little Falls jumped on it. It's a fumble, a turnover, and Little Falls takes possession on the opening play from the Wildcats. It was going to go for a loss of about 2 or 3 yards, and hopping on top of that one, Luke Karowski was nearby. I'm not sure if he's the one who recovered it or not, but it was a fumble recovered by Little Falls and a turnover on the first play of the game for New London Spicer. Dan Essler talked about how they have not been doing that. The Wildcats in recent games, only 5 turnovers since week 1 in 5 weeks, and they have a turnover on their first offensive play. But the Flyers need to try and move the ball. Play action. Udy rolls out, hits a man in the flat. Going to be a short gain across the 35, maybe. Pickup of about a yard. 2nd and 9 upcoming for the Flyer offense. Well, we didn't get a chance to talk about the starters too much on the defensive side, but we can wrap up the starters offensively for the Flyers. Luke Cush, a sophomore wide receiver. Trent Krupke starting at wide receiver 2, our guest in the Get to Know Him segment a little bit later here this evening. And tight end Sam Gold, Grant Litke, Cormac Shanoff are the backs. This one a handoff. It's a toss and going to the outside, gaining a few yards. A run that time for Cormac Shanoff, picked up a couple, and it's going to be 3rd down, about 6 yards to go. That was the best play of the day for Little Falls. After going 3 and out and backwards in their first possession, here an opportunity because the ball is spotted on about the 32-yard line. This may be 4-down territory. You're not going to punt from here. Wouldn't get much unless you're able to pin it deep, so might have a couple plays at this. Udy back to pass, looking for a man, and this one is thrown wide, intended for Cush, who's running an up-and-out route. They bottled up a few wide receivers on the right side, tried to create some traffic, and Cush ran out into the flat, and the ball thrown in front of Cush. He ran that route shallower than his quarterback, Austin Udy. Passing target hit. Could have been a misthrown ball or maybe a mistake on the depth of the run. But the ball ends up sailing, thrown away now, 4th down and 6. As expected, going for it. Udy flush from the pocket. He's doing a little backyard football, throws it up for a man, but incomplete along the sidelines, trying to find Grant Litke. Austin Udy was rolling to the right. He bought himself a little bit of time, and Litke ran in the flat, and then Udy knew he had to get to the 1st down markers, so he pointed him in that direction and running down the sidelines. But Udy, with pressure bearing down on him, didn't have time to set his feet through the ball. It ends up going incomplete and a turnover on downs, and New London Spicer will have a chance for another opportunity here after fumbling on their first offensive play, and the Flyers recovered that fumble. It's a play action, back to pass, throwing this one deep downfield, has a man caught at the 30. It's a foot race, 20, and nobody's going to catch him. Touchdown that time for the Wildcats. Bennett with the touchdown reception for New London Spicer. Kelly Bennett's a senior 170-pounder, just caught a 69-yard touchdown pass. And the Wildcats are on the board now, 6-0 with an extra point pending. Brandon Edelman, who's only missed about 5 incompletions on the year. That one had a lot of air, but Bennett's just a speedy wide receiver, ran away from the coverage. Extra point pending. The snap, the hold, the kick is on the way, and it looks good from here. It is. So the Wildcats on the board. They score the game's first points after each team has 2 possessions. The score is New London Spicer 7, Little Falls nothing on the Rudolph Auto Solutions score update. We'll be back in 1 minute. You're listening to Flyer Football, KLTF FallsRadio.com.
When suddenly your car doesn't look like it should after an accident, it's nice to know where to go. In Little Falls, Peterson Body Shop is known for their quality workmanship and reputation for reasonable rates. From body repairs to glass installation to loaner cars when work is being performed, Peterson Body Shop has been bringing quality service in the Little Falls area since 1963. Give them a call at 632-6156. Peterson Body Shop, Highway 27 West, Little Falls. Your best decision after a collision. Just ask your neighbors.
Hi, Tom Demo here from North Risk Partners Demo Insurance Agency. Since 1999, our independent agency has been serving the central Minnesota area for both personal and business insurance. We are now positioned better than ever to grow and serve you and our communities as part of North Risk Partners, one of the top 5 independent insurance agencies in the state of Minnesota. We are still local and personal at the same location with the same great staff to serve you. So stop in and see us at 107 First Street Southeast in downtown Little Falls, or find us on the web at northriskpartners.com. Brenda, Lori, and I look forward to meeting with you.
AM 960 KLTF, and out of the scoring a touchdown on the deep go route, the Wildcats go for the onside kick and recover it. That time the onside kick as the Flyers had a few guys waiting back at about their own 45, and the Wildcats kick it from their 40 across the 50, and once it goes 10 yards, the team can recover it, and New London Spicer gets on top of it before the Flyers, so the Wildcats have it 1st and 10 now on the Flyers side of the field, and a timeout taken briefly by Little Falls, so we'll talk about this one too. The defense has to come back out on the field after New London Spicer scores a touchdown. An onside kick they recover, and now New London Spicer back on the attack. But we'll take a 30-second break before this 1st and 10 play for the Wildcats. Back in a half minute, KLTF, fallsradio.com.
If you're getting mighty hungry, well, the best in the country is Pizza Ranch.
Every Wednesday at the Pizza Ranch in Little Falls, seniors can enjoy the delicious lunch or dinner buffet for just $7 plus tax. That's every Wednesday at the Pizza Ranch in Little Falls.
It's where life tastes better, so round 'em up and head her down to Pizza Ranch. Whoa, that's good.
KLTF, fallsradio.com, and Adelman, the quarterback, handoff in this one, hit behind the line of scrimmage and dropped right there. Nice defensive play made by Caden Kerr, a sophomore defensive end for the Flyers, came crashing down on their 3-4 defense. The two starting defensive ends alongside Caden Kerr is Luke Bensky. In the middle, the defensive tackle, Connor Zare. Linebacking crew for the Flyers, Aiden St. Ange, Grant Litke, Jake Chakowski, and Scott Crosswhite. Cormac Shanoff. Shotgun set, bubble screen, the catch by Bennett. He's got it at the 50, cuts it inside, up to the 40, and stopped there. About 2.5 yards shy of the first down marker on a 2nd and 12 play, gain of 10. It'll be 3rd and 2 for the Wildcats on the year, averaging about 8 or 9 yards per play offensively. The defensive backs for the Flyers, Teddy Lindstrom, Sam Gold, and Trent Krupke, starting an extra linebacker instead of the defensive back here tonight. Just 3 backs. Handoff straight up the middle, hit initially at the 39, stiff arm, now going to be driven back and behind the first down marker, but I think forward progress is going to give the back that time for New London Spicer. That was Gideon Michie, the yards needed for the first down. He was hit around the 35, then pushed back to about the 40. They spotted at the 37, but he only needed the 38 for a first down, so he got an extra yard. That's a first down on 3rd and 2, a pickup of 3 officially for the Wildcats. Quarterback under center, just one wide receiver in motion now behind the line. It's a handoff, fullback up the middle, and a crunching hit laid on by Isaiah Sloan. Isaiah Sloan with a heavy hit that time, came crashing in from the secondary, and it's a gain of about 4 or 5 yards, but he came in, lowered the shoulder, and hit the chest of the back. That appeared to be Peyton Madison, the fullback for the Wildcats, with a run there. We'll get you the starting lineups for New London Spicer after this play on 2nd and 6. Shotgun set, 4 wide receivers looking towards the outside pass, completed on this slant, and then tackled by the secondary. Cormac Shanoff ended up finishing off the hit. I think Sloan laid a hit, but Bennett's didn't go down, and then Shanoff wrapped him up. Starting lineup for the Wildcats, Brandon Adelman, a 6'4 senior quarterback. Senior wide receivers, Nick Persons, Kelly Bennett. The tailback, Evan Dietz, Gideon Michie. Dietz is actually at tight end. Offensive tackle, Bubba Harlow. Here's another play. Handoff, straight up the gut, and this is going to be close to first down yardage from the initial line of scrimmage at the 15. Running back got to about the 7, and it's going to be 2nd and short. 2nd and about 1.5 yards. The rest of the offensive line for the Wildcats, Patrick Shimorowski, center. Guards, Nate Ogdahl, Cade Wozmek, and the offensive tackle, Aaron Renner. Peyton Madison is the fullback. Out of the huddle, Bunch formation, quarterback back to pass, lobs it into the end zone. Bennett gets away from the coverage, catches a touchdown on a fade route guarded by one of the seniors on the Little Falls squad, Teddy Lindstrom, doing everything he could, but Lindstrom having to help out a little bit in the run game with the support. Had to keep one eye out there, and Bennett is a very speedy back, and that time lined up at wide receiver and just ran a fade route right behind Lindstrom, who thought he might have been close to him, and Bennett was 4 or 5 yards behind him in the blink of an eye. Adelman hit him with the touchdown, and it is 13-0 midway through the first quarter. This is a high kick that does go through the uprights. It's 14-0. New London Spicer will kick it away next. They've already recovered an onside kick. We'll see what they do next in 6 minutes left in the first quarter. The score is New London Spicer 14, Little Falls nothing. Back in 30 seconds, AM 960 KLTF, fallsradio.com.
When you need quality repair, quality service, the only name to remember is Homerson Collision Center. Hi, this is Michelle. Our collision work is always guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. The reason we can do this is because of the great work our team here at Homerson Collision Center does. We hope you never get into an accident, but if you do, we're here to help. At Homerson Collision Center, quality repair, quality service, guaranteed is not just a slogan, but our promise to you. And remember, Homerson Collision Center is the home of Captain Ron's Oasis Spas.
AM 960 KLTF, fallsradio.com. Well, iron sharpens iron. This is the kind of game where Little Falls knew they would be tested. The Wildcats, strong all the way across the board. They're big, they're fast, they have a lot of seniors, relatively healthy. One of their starting running backs is out tonight. They went for an onside kick their last time. This time they kick it out towards the corner and out of bounds. That's going to be an illegal kicking procedure, and the Flyers will start out in their best field position after a kick at the 35-yard line. The Wildcats did fumble one and lost that fumble earlier this half, so Little Falls ahead in the turnover category 1-0, but that's about it here as the Wildcat defense has been staunch and very tough to move the ball against in the first couple possessions. And the Flyers not recovering that onside kick got cheated out of a possession in that regard. Here they break the huddle, quarterback under center, two wideouts, I formation, no safety. This is a handoff to Litke, and Litke straight ahead gets about 1.5 yards, and that's the guy that the Wildcats are going to be focusing on here this week. They were talking about him in the pregame coverage. Grant Litke, the fullback, trap plays those inside runs by Litke. That was what they game planned for all week long. And the defensive line up to the test there. Still Litke able to burst through and get about 1.5 yards, but it's a 2nd and 9 upcoming. 3 backs in the backfield, 1 wide out, plenty of motion, but no snap, so no flag. Play action, Udy rolling to the side. He pump fakes, and then he has to swallow the ball and take a sack as nobody was open. He was looking for Cush or maybe Gold, but both were covered up well. Udy evaded the first rusher, but then the pursuit got to him, and it ends up being a loss of about 9 yards. This is going to be 3rd down, and the scoreboard has 17 yards to go. Shout out to some area sponsors, by the way, helping out to purchase those scoreboards and put them in about a year ago at many different fields here in Little Falls, in the gymnasium, auditorium, here at Flyer football field, soccer fields, and some motion early. This is going to be a penalty on the Flyers. They had a few more penalties last week than they had on the standard weeks this year. Little Falls has not been plagued by many penalties in this season, but last week a couple of back-to-back times. Luke Karowski this time got called for a penalty. I can imagine that the Flyers are trying to use some hard snap counts because the Wildcats have everybody kind of close to jumping all at once a couple times, and now a false start. Just seeing that snap count, trying to neutralize the pass rush. Here, a throw to the near side. The catch is made. Sam Gold with the grab. It's going to be a gain of about 4 or 5, but on 3rd and very long, well short of the first down markers. It's going to be down to about 3rd and 16 4th and 16, excuse me. This is a punting situation for Trent Krupke with the clock running at 3:50 here in the first quarter. The score, New London Spicer 14, Little Falls 0. Krupke boots this one away, a high end-over-end punt, and it's a nice little play by Isaiah Sloan. He got the returner out of there. The returner standing right over it was thinking about going for it, and Sloan kind of pushed him away. It's a legal play when you're standing right there. The Flyers make sure that it rolls a little bit farther, and if it bounces off the returner, that's a live ball. So Isaiah Sloan with a physical play right there. And it will be 1st and 10 for the Wildcats from their own 34-yard line. Little Falls hosting New London Spicer. It's senior night, parents' night, tackle cancer night. Probably the last home game for the Flyers. They'll likely be on the road in the playoffs. Handoff in the backfield out of the shotgun set, and initial pressure and then getting in there, cleaning up the hit. Cormac Shanoff finished it off. Jake Chakowski nearby for the Flyers got credit for the tackle, I believe. Some defensive pressure in the backfield that time for the Flyers on their 3-4 stunt. Call it 3-4, but the linebackers up near the line of scrimmage, almost like 5 linemen, but they've got a little bit more freedom. Running back in motion, bubble screen set up, and the catch is made, and now stopping on a dime, trying to spin out of it. The Flyers got the pursuit there, and now they're going to push him back. He's going to be 5 yards shy of the first down marker, maybe forward progress a little closer than that, but on a 2nd and 10 yards to go play, a gain of 7. It'll be 3rd and 3. Flyers played it well, but some shiftiness on that far side of the field from my vantage point. Now, welcome to those viewers watching on Flyer Media Productions or listening along on the radio station or fallsradio.com. Halfback toss, looking for the edge. Bennett has a blocker. A flag is thrown at the 50, 40, 30 to the 20, but there is a flag. 10-5 touchdown if it stands for now, but I don't think it's going to because of where the flag was thrown back on the line of scrimmage, and everybody's walking back the way. That way it's a hold on New London Spicer. So on 3rd and 2, instead of a 58-yard touchdown run, it's going to be a loss of 10 yards, 3rd and 12 upcoming, as long as it was at the line of scrimmage. Unless they say it was a little bit farther upfield, we'll see where they mark it. This is going to be about 3rd and 12, so 10 yards from the spot of the penalty, right at the line of scrimmage. 3rd and long upcoming for the Wildcats, knocking off what would have been a touchdown run, just utilizing speed there on the edge by Gideon Michie, a 190-pound senior running back. Every time you look on the program for the Wildcats, it's a lot of seniors this year's club. In fact, they have one junior starting on the offensive line, Cade Wozmek. Otherwise, all seniors. Ethan Haugen, the only junior starting on defense. Everybody else is a senior. Shotgun back to pass, flush from the pocket, and now jumping, getting away from the pressure. The throw a little low, incomplete, and New London Spicer forced into a punting situation with their starters on the field. That's a victory for the Flyer defense. One of the winded linemen for Little Falls, Nicholas Garretts, came off the line there. He had a long way to run after the quarterback, Brandon Edelman. And they've already shown an onside kick here tonight. I would expect them to punt it on 4th and 14, but you never know. The snap, it's a bad snap, handled by the punter on one hop, and he got away a great kick, all things considered. This one's going to die at about the 44-yard line. A punt of about 25 yards, but that punter had to field it on a hop, and it just bounced right into his hands. That could have been disaster for New London Spicer, but instead got a nice hop here at Flyer Field, and kicker got away a good punt, no return, because it was a little short, semi-high. Bit of a breeze here, a cold breeze for the fans. Flyers out there, wide receivers, 2 wide out set, 1 each side, I formation, quarterback under center, handoff, and this one looked like maybe Shanoff trying the right side of the center in the A gap, and he got shut down. Cormac Shanoff, a short gain, if any. 2nd and almost 10 upcoming for the Flyer offense after a very short gain. 1:15 left in the first quarter. Little Falls at home against New London Spicer on Wednesday night next week. They'll be on the road at Malacca. The Wildcats beat Malacca last week 49-6 in New London's last Friday night. Quarterback under center, trips lined up to the right for the Flyers. Udy rolling that way, throws it into the flat for his tight end. Catch is made. It was Grant Litke, who was lined up as one of the tight ends that time for the Flyers on that right side of the formation. A short pickup of about 2 or 3 yards. New London Spicer's pass rush has been slowed down a little bit. And Cush will come off, replaced by Krupke on this particular play. 46.1 seconds left. The clock stopped as Litke was forced out of bounds on the last play. Shotgun set, empty backfield for Udy, the quarterback, no safety. And now Udy slipped a little bit, and then he lost the ball. It might be New London's ball. It is. First down, New London Spicer on a fumbled exchange right that time. In the shotgun set, Austin Udy grabbed the ball. He had it cleanly, and then he was trying to take a step back to set his feet. There was a blitz bearing down on him, and as he set his back foot, it slipped. Now, the football field is in pretty good shape considering all the rain we received this week. It's been dry all day today, but his foot slipped, and that forced him to kind of fall forward a little bit. The ball came out, and the Wildcats on the blitz were right there to hop on top of it. Now a handoff. This is Midian. He crosses the 35. Now he's got the 30 brought down from behind by Sloan, who grabbed the jersey. New London Spicer wanted the horse collar tackle, but he grabbed the back of the jersey on, that was Peyton Madison, not Gideon Michie that time, running the ball for the Wildcats. But it is a pickup of 11 yards, 1st and 10, and already New London Spicer is up near the Little Falls 31-yard line with 25 seconds left in quarter number 1. This could be the final play of the first quarter. Wide receivers 2 each side. Adelman, shotgun set. Fake the halfback sweep, and now looking deep downfield. Great coverage, and the catch still might have been made. Touchdown. Oh, the coverage that time was excellent for the Flyers, but still didn't matter. I believe Krupke out there with the defensive coverage, but just the ball thrown over his shoulder, and then a touchdown grab by Bennett. Ran the go route, and Krupke knew it was coming, was back there and couldn't stop it. The perfectly thrown ball beats good defense almost every time. Now the snap, the hold, the kick is up and good. With still 3.7 seconds left in the first quarter, the Wildcats have scored for the 3rd time this quarter. The score is New London Spicer 21, Little Falls nothing. Back in 30 seconds, KLTF, fallsradio.com.
According to a recent survey, 9 out of 10 Little Falls parents do not allow underage drinking in their home. Underage drinking is not only illegal, it can lead to bad decisions, addiction, and other tragic consequences. Talk with your kids about the importance of not drinking at their age. Remember, Little Falls teens who say their parents would feel it is wrong for them to drink alcohol are almost 9 times less likely to drink. Talk early, talk often. This is Morrison County Sheriff Sean Larson on behalf of the Stand Up For You Coalition and CHI St. Gabriel's Health.
AM 960 KLTF, fallsradio.com. New London Spicer will kick this one away, and booting it off for the Wildcats will be Peyton Madison or Griffin Dunning. Griffin Dunning is going to be the one lining up to kick it for the Wildcats from left to right. Flyers await this kick. And it's pointed towards the sideline. Going to stay in bounds, though. I think Little Falls has to jump on top of it at about the 20-yard line. They were waiting for it to roll out of bounds, and it just died just before it did. And the first quarter did expire on the play clock right there. So that's the final play of the first quarter. We'll be back at the second quarter of play. The score after 1 is New London Spicer 21, Little Falls nothing on the Rudolph Auto Solutions score update. Back in 1 minute with your second quarter, KLTF FallsRadio.com.
Cars, trucks, new tires, oil change, whatever your automotive needs may be. Visit millsauto.com for the best answers in the area. Serviced by certified pros, quality parts direct from the manufacturer, and friendly assistance to find the perfect vehicle to fit your busy lifestyle. What are you waiting for? Click some tires 24/7 at millsauto.com. Whether it's Mills Ford, Mills GM, or Mills Honda, visit them online at one location. That's millsauto.com.
At CHI St. Gabriel's Health, our podiatry team provides treatment to help you regain pain-free mobility, including medical and surgical care for foot, ankle, and lower leg problems. We're trained to prevent, diagnose, treat, and rehabilitate common and abnormal conditions. Friendly faces and expert care, all close to home. That's the best way to brave new trails. Don't let your feet slow you down. Schedule your appointment today. CHI St. Gabriel's Health. Better every day.
AM 960 KLTF FallsRadio.com. Little Falls trailing right now 21-0 as we start the second quarter of play. The Flyers will start with the ball as they did in the first quarter. New London Spicer will get the second half kickoff. Trips bunch to the left, ball on the right hash mark, half-block toss, and trying the outside edge, turned back inside at the initial line of scrimmage, bursting forward for a gain of maybe a yard or two. Short pickup that time. That might have been Sloan with the run for Little Falls. Krupke and Cush line up as wide receiver on this upcoming play as they check into the huddle. Flyers break the huddle. Those two wide receivers. I formation. Gold, the tight end on the right side of the formation. Run a trap counter play across the 30 to the 35 and tackled there almost into the open. Cormac Shanoff with the first Flyer first down of the contest. He picks up about 13. And that's a first down, Little Falls. Ball spotted at the 35-yard line. 11-11 left here in the first half. Little Falls and New London Spicer. Next Wednesday night, invite you to join us on the listening audience for the radio as we will be in Malacca for the season finale, the regular season finale. Playoffs would open the following Tuesday. And judging by the standings, Flyers will be on the road. It's a halfback, weak side, breaking a tackle, stiff arm, breaks another tackle, bouncing to the outside and then jumping forward for as much as he could. Cormac Shanoff with a run of about 9 yards right there. And the Flyers moving the ball a little bit. It's going to be second down, 2 yards to go. Here come the Flyers with Shanoff dotting the I formation. Wide receivers, one each side. It's a halfback counter, trying the middle and falling forward, pushing the pile forward. That's Grant Lidke with the toughest yards of the night, but he needed 2.5. He got 2. It's going to be third down and very short. Ball is just shy of the 45-yard line, needs to get across the other side of the 45-yard line, about 2 lengths of the football shy of the first down. Third down and less than a yard to go. And we'll see what the Flyers come up with here in this situation. Each team with 1 turnover. Flyers also had a turnover on downs. 3 touchdowns in the first half by the Wildcats. And it's a quarterback keeper. Udy stopped initially, but the second effort, I think he got it. And the referee official on the near side says, move the chains. That's another Little Falls Flyer first down. Their third on this drive as the ball just shy of midfield right now. So Little Falls moving the ball a little bit here on this Tackle Cancer night. 9:23 left. Second quarter of play. 21-0 New London Spicer on the Rudolph Auto Solutions score update. Wide receivers, one each side. Udy back to pass. Throwing downfield and overthrows his intended receiver, Cush. In an ideal scenario, Udy would be able to set his feet and throw. He's rolling to his left, and as a right-handed quarterback, his body weight, his feet nowhere near set as he was still jogging trying to make that throw. Quarterbacks can make the throw on the run, but usually when you don't have the mechanics of having your feet set, it's tougher to control the accuracy, and that time the throw sailed high and away. If you're going to miss long, though. It's not intercepted. It goes incomplete. Halfback toss, looking for Shanoff, trying the corner. A flag is thrown. Another flag is thrown. All sorts of laundry on the field with a couple of flags in two different spots. This could be both referees spotting the same penalty, or it could be a couple of different penalties. A hold on the Flyers, and I think that was the only call. So it'll be a holding penalty against Little Falls, and 2nd and 20 likely upcoming. Maybe even longer as it's 10 yards from the spot of the foul. We're going to be 2nd and 25 because that was a halfback pitch and a loss of 15 yards on that play that didn't count. 8:57 as the clock is stopped here. And now it starts with the ref's whistle. 21-0, New London Spicer in front. Flyers were making a little bit of progress this drive, but now a very costly penalty. Back to pass, Udy throwing near side, catch is made, but immediately the coverage collapses. The grab that time by Sam Gold, tight end for the Flyers, and coverage by Ethan Haugen, the only non-senior starter defensively for New London Spicer. 8:15 left. Flyers facing a third down, 26 yards to go after the loss of 15 on that holding penalty. Wildcats bring four, catching out of the backfield. Lidke's got the 50, he's got the 40. It's a first down on 3rd and 26. The Wildcats only blitzed 4 that time. They tried playing back in coverage, and Grant Lidke with a 30-yard reception, and that's another Little Falls Flyer first down. Now they're 4th on this drive. That one, the least likely of the bunch. On a 3rd and 26 play, a team not known for big plays, Grant Lidke caught the ball around the 48-yard line on the Little Falls side and then ended up with about 15 yards after catch. After getting 15 yards on the initial grab and a 30-yard completion, 1st and 10 after a 3rd and 26 conversion. Double A-gap pressure. The Flyers stutter step move by the back. Shanoff, he got past the initial line. Then Bennett's finished off the hit. A very late flag after a gain of about 3. We'll see what this is. If the play would have counted, it would have been 2nd down, 7 yards to go. It's a face mask on the defense. So that's going to be a 5-yard penalty on Bennett's, and it's still first down. Little Falls will have it first down and about 2 yards to go because it's from the spot of the penalty, and because of the face mask, it's not an automatic first down, but it was first down there. It just remains first down. They don't move the chain, so Little Falls the benefit of now facing only a 1st and 2. Couple yards away from picking up their 5th first down of the drive, but also could be looking at points on this drive. The ball on the 26-yard line. Motion up front, and the Wildcats crossed the neutral zone, and the referees blew it dead. I don't think Little Falls jumped, but a hard snap count, offsides, and the Wildcats have been guilty of that a few times here this evening. They've been prone to jumping on the hard snap count, and there they give the Little Falls Flyers another first down. 7:08 to play. first half. Little Falls milking the clock, kind of shortening this game a little bit. We saw how dangerous the Wildcats are when they have the ball. And here the Flyers have had one of their most impressive drives of the season still against the starters for the Wildcats. I formation, wide receivers, one each side. Play action. Here comes a blitz from behind, throwing in the flat, and it was incomplete. Grant Litke was the intended receiver, sneaking out in the flat, but now it'll be second down, 10 yards to go. Instead of that 1st and 2, because of the 5-yard offsides penalty, it ended up being 1st and 10. Now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion. 6:43 to play in half number 1. Little Falls, this drive started with the start of the second quarter. They've kept the ball this entire 5:15 so far on this drive. Quarterback Udy under center, single back to pass, lob pass, and this one's intercepted and could go back the distance. 30, 40, 50, nobody's going to catch that blazing speed. 30, 20, 10, and he's into the end zone in a blink of an eye, winning the foot race. And that's Bennett. That's the speedy wide receiver, but he read that one, caught the ball on the running into the flat route, jumped the route, and once he had it, had Green in front of him, and nobody facing the other direction was going to be able to turn around and catch him. The speed of Bennett's fastest on the football field here tonight for either team, and he was out in the open. It's a touchdown, defensive touchdown, and that snuffs out the drive that milked 5.5 minutes off the clock, 5 first downs, but it ends in a pick 6 for the Wildcats. Extra point pending. The snap, the hold, the kick is on its way, and it is no good. Missed to the right. The Wildcats get 6, but they do not get the 7th. With 6:28 left in the second quarter, we'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Flyer Football. Score on the Rudolph Auto Solutions score update. New London Spicer now 27, Little Falls 0. Back in a half minute, KLTF, Little Falls.
Not happy with your current financial institution? Mid-Minnesota Federal Credit Union can help you be happy. We offer everything a traditional financial institution does and more, like an array of products and services with no or lower fees and most likely better rates. We also offer a rewards checking account that gives you 2% APY or cash back and refunds on monthly ATM fees. You can open an account online at mmfcu.org or stop by any branch. Mid-Minnesota Federal Credit Union. We're with you all the way. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender. Certain restrictions apply.
AM 960 KLTF, fallsradio.com. New London Spicer now up 27-0 on top of the Flyers. And here comes the kick. And this one is a high kick fielded by the Flyers at about the 42 and wrapped up. No, it's a 32, excuse me, wrapped up and dropped there. It'll be 1st and 10, Little Falls upcoming. Well, some score updates here on our other 2 Little Falls radio stations. The score late in the first half, 34-6. Piers is leading. They're on top of Paynesville right now by 28 points. That's late in the first half. Also, Al Winsberger calling the USA Royalton game. We'll get that in a second here. A handoff, trying the left side, then bouncing it up the middle. This is Shanoff with a run up to about the 34-yard line. Cormac Shanoff and some tough yardage right there. In the second quarter, a 14-8 score. Royalton leading Uppsala Swanville area. Royals and Pioneers both trying to stay undefeated. USA a tough challenge for the Royals here tonight. Handoff, Shanoff started left, then goes back right. No, this is Isaiah Sloan, and he crossed the 40 and got a Little Falls Flyer first down. That is Shanoff. But it's a pickup of about 7 on 2nd and 6, and that's another Little Falls Flyer first down. Cormac Shanoff, back-to-back carries, 11 yards in the last 2 plays. 5:40 to play here in half number 1. New London Spicer 27, Little Falls 0. But the Flyers play within themselves. They moved the ball a little bit on the last drive. See if they can do that again. Counter trap play. Shanoff got the delayed handoff, gets to the edge. Now he's forced out of bounds up near the 49-yard line. Physical running that time for Shanoff. Outside lead blockers that time for Little Falls. Mason Dempsey was helping to lead the way on that delayed trap play. Bounced to the outside. Ball was on the right hash mark, and Shanoff ran it to the right. Ended up running out of real estate, but not before a pickup of 7. Udy, handoff. Hit behind the line of scrimmage was Shanoff, but he fought to get back to the line of scrimmage, and it's a no-gain play. 3rd down and about 4 yards to go still for the Flyers. 5 minutes to play first half, 27-0. New London Spicer on top. Wildcats and Flyers, and a timeout taken on the field before this 3rd down play, and we'll take a timeout too. This timeout will be charged to Little Falls. They're second of the half. They still have 1 more remaining. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Little Falls has the ball, shy of midfield. 3rd and 4 from their own 47. Back in 30 seconds. KLTF, fallsradio.com.
Peterson Body Shop wants to remind all motorists to use extra caution while driving this time of the year and be on the lookout for deer on the move. If you would happen to have the misfortune of hitting a deer, Peterson Body Shop can help get your vehicle back to pre-accident condition. Peterson Body Shop is known for quality work in the Little Falls area since 1963. Give them a call at 632-6156. Peterson Body Shop, Highway 27 West, Little Falls. Your best decision after a collision. Just ask your neighbors.
This is the final home game of the regular season for Little Falls. They'll be on the road in Week 8, what used to be called MEA break. I still refer to it often as that. People remember that 3-day week in the school week at this time of year. Little Falls will be playing on Wednesday night at Malacca. Then they'll open up the playoffs on the road that following Tuesday. I formation, 1 wide receiver each side, and jumping that time, the wide receiver on the far side, Trent Krupke. And Krupke, guilty of that one, moves the ball back 5 yards. It's going to be 3rd down and 9, a little tougher. He knows what he did there, but the Flyers have been trying to use that hard snap count because New London Spicer, with their size and speed inside, dominating the line. One of the ways you can try and slow down a pass rush is use that screen game, hard snap counts. The Flyers have tried a little bit of that here tonight, but that time a false start on the wide receiver. Back to pass. Udy has some time. Now he's flush from the pocket, steps up into the rush, and he's going to go down. The sack recorded that time by Evan Dietz, a 185-pound senior. And 3rd and long becomes 4th and even longer. With 4.5 to play here in the first half, New London Spicer will get the ball back, already leading 27-0. They'll start the second half with the ball. The snap, the kick by Krupke, hanging in the air, crosses the 50, goes out of bounds after 1 hop. It was going to take a New London Spicer bounce backwards, but it went out of bounds before it lost much field position, and New London Spicer will start on their own 42-yard line. Bennett's out there right now. He'll be one of the backs or wide receivers. He's had speed to burn, and this is even on the grass field. When this team, New London Spicer, gets on turf, blazing speed. Bennett, who's had the big night receiving, is on the right side of the line. Flyers backing off coverage about 10 yards off on that side. This is a handoff, and it's a toss play outside across the 45-50, forced out of bounds on the other side of the 50-yard line up near first down yardage at about the 46. It is an 11-yard run and a first down run that time by Gideon Mischie Forced out of bounds by the Flyer defense, but not before picking up the necessary yardage for a first down. 4 minutes and 1 second left first half. New London, Spicer, and Little Falls. Wildcats with the quarterback under center, I formation. And this one's a reverse running for Bennett. He's got it at the 50, 45, 40, and an open field tackle that time. A nice play that time for Krupke, I believe it was. Maybe Isaiah Sloan nearby. But it was an open field tackle that time that would have saved with the speed of Bennett's. He got limited to 9 yards, but if that tackle isn't made with one more blocker in front and a man to beat, Bennett's might have had another touchdown on the reverse play. New London Spicer averaging about 9 yards per offensive play this season. That's even with their backups in for a lot of the plays in the second half, and you're seeing why here in the first half. Play action, lob pass towards the edge, and this one incomplete. The second incompletion of the night for Adelman, who's only missed 5 completions on the season. Now he's missed 6 and 7 here tonight. So the Flyer defense doing a better job against the passing game of New London Spicer than most opponents have done, but still the Wildcats are up big 27-0. That's to show you just how good and dangerous this team is. Adelman under center, third down, very short. Flyers playing right up the middle. They stopped the initial rush, but somehow the big back got through. There was a dog pile at the line of scrimmage, but Peyton Madison somehow snuck past that dog pile to the right of it and then got up past the linebackers before the secondary made the tackle at around the 28-yard line. Madison with a first down run on third and very, very short. An ambulance going by the schools here at Little Falls. Single wide receiver sent in motion. Play action. Adelman steps up in the pocket. Now he's going to run. 30, 25. Defender fell down. 20, 10, 5, and hit out of bounds. Shy of the goal line. But this will be first and goal from the 3-yard line after Adelman with a run of about 30 yards right there. They're going to mark it at the 4-yard line. First and goal from the 4. 2:36 to play. Little Falls trying to defend this devastating offense with all the starters still out there for the Wildcats here late in the first half. Quarterback Adelman under center. It's a handoff, and this one up the gut. Gideon Mischie, and he's in for a touchdown. He was hit by 2 Flyer defenders, but his forward momentum spinning off the first hit and then falling forward into the end zone for a New London Spicer touchdown, their 5th of the first half. And the score is now 33-0. New London Spicer in front with the extra point pending. Kicker. The kicker for the Wildcats puts this one through, and that adds another point to score now. New London Spicer 34, Little Falls 0 on the Rudolph Auto Solutions score update. We'll be back in 1 minute with the kickoff. Next, Flyers to receive the ball next in a minute. KLTF, FallsRadio.com.
Schlenner, Wenner & Company is a regional independent CPA firm that's dedicated to serving clients with professionalism and integrity. The firm's professional staff's attention to detail and personal touch promote excellent working relationships with their clients. The firm focuses on serving accounting, tax, and business consulting needs of their business, individual, not-for-profit, and governmental clients. Schlenner, Wenner & Company in Little Falls, Albany, St. Cloud, Monticello, and Maple Lake, providing high-quality, value-added professional service since 1964.
Fleet Supply, True Value in Little Falls, is a proud supporter of Flyer sports. Fleet Supply has everything you need for all your outdoor and indoor projects. They have a great selection of tools, kitchen, pet, and paint supplies, footwear, hunting supplies, and so much more. Also, check out their great monthly bargains with tons of in-store savings. Fleet Supply, True Value, your complete farm and home store. Located at 1800 First Avenue Northeast. Behind every project is a True Value. Go Flyers.
AM 960 KLTF, fallsradio.com. Little Falls has the ball 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line after Cormac Shanoff fielded the last kick at about the 20-yard line on a one-hop. Ran 10 yards upfield before getting stopped. 1st and 10, Little Falls from their own 31. Well, they had one very, very positive drive here this half, but it was ended abruptly on a pick six. About a 70-yard touchdown return. This time, handoff, spinning off the first hit, still on his feet, driven back after a gain of about 4 or 5 yards. 2nd and 5 upcoming for the Flyers. Cormac Shanoff getting a heavy dose of the running game here in the first half. Luke Cush will come in to check in on this next play. 1:57 remaining, half number 1. Clock is running. Flyers with one timeout have the ball. Down 34-0 here at home on senior night, tackle cancer night. Stutter step move to the left after a little bit of space up the middle. Tried bouncing it outside. Isaiah Sloan had the carry. I think he probably thought he had a little bit of room to the outside, but might have been able to get another 2 or 3 yards straight up the middle and wasn't used to seeing holes up the middle like that. Bounced it to the outside trying to make the extra big play. This time stopped after a gain of a couple, 3rd down and about 4 yards to go for the Flyer offense. Maybe even 5. They need to get to the 41, ball across the 36. 3 backs in the backfield, single wide receiver, some motion up front, but they don't snap it. Udy trying to get him to jump. It's a handoff and short gain on 3rd and about 4 or 5. This is going to pick up about a yard, maybe 2, but it's still going to be 4th and 3 upcoming for the Flyer offense, and they'll send out the punting unit. Timeout taken by New London Spicer with 47 seconds left, and we'll take a 30-second timeout too. Back in a half minute to score. New London Spicer 34, Little Falls 0. Wildcats spend their first of 3 timeouts. Back in 30 seconds, KLTF, fallsradio.com.
A great way to keep your vehicle on the road is a new set of tires from Trutwin Service in Little Falls. Trutwins will do all of your vehicle's regular maintenance, oil changes, transmission service, coolant checks, and maintenance and repairs on any foreign or domestic vehicle. Stop by, set up your appointment with Tommy at Trutwin Service in Little Falls. Trutwin Service 320-632-5141. 320-632-5141. Trutwin Service in downtown Little Falls.
KLTF, fallsradio.com. New London Spicer brings the blitz, trying to block a punt. Krupke got it away and bounces across the 50 out of bounds at the New London Spicer 46-yard line. That's where the Wildcats will start. 54 yards shy of the end zone. A team that has been very, very prudent at scoring one-drive touchdowns this year against all their opponents. Tough to really handle the size, but also the speed. Outside, Bennett's perhaps the fastest player I've seen all year for any team. And they've got a couple of burners out there, including Bennett's, who's on the near side. Coverage backing off of him. Halfback toss, and looking for the edge, 50. Now going to be forced out of bounds. And Isaiah Sloan with the push late. Right on the edge. But the running back was still inbounds, who ended up taking a spill onto the track near the band area here. Little Falls band getting ready to play the halftime performance. Gideon Mischie had that last run, got credit for 10 and a first down. Ball now on the 44-yard line. Clock stopped as it went out of bounds. 33.2 seconds left. Still 2 Wildcat timeouts. They're looking to score again. Play action. Adelman stepping up, airing it deep downfield, looking for a receiver, and that one's broken up. What a defensive play that time, going up and timing it perfect. Trent Krupke with the defensive play of the half so far on a well-thrown ball by Adelman, and Krupke jumped up and knocked it away just before the ball got there. An incompletion. That is incompletion number 3 for a quarterback who had 5 on the year. Now 3 here tonight. Trent Krupke backing off and playing that one well. 2nd and 10. New London Spicer sends a man in motion, throwing the slant route. This one's up and high, incompletion. Number 4 here for Adelman, the number 4 player for the Wildcats. And this guy does not throw many incompletions, and the Flyer defense, you can't really say he's rattled. I mean, the Wildcats have 34 points here in the first half, but all things considered, some individual plays the Flyers are winning. That's encouraging. The Wildcats certainly controlling this game, and then some. Have the ball 3rd and 10 with 21 seconds left, and a timeout is taken by Little Falls defense. So the Flyer defense holding strong on 1st and 2nd down, 3rd and 10 upcoming, and I'd expect the Wildcats to go for it on 4th down if that comes up. Let's take a 30-second break. KLTF, fallsradio.com.
As children gain independence, they have more and more chances to drink alcohol and use drugs. Talk to each other about your rules and expectations regarding not allowing underage drinking. 89% of Little Falls parents agree that parents should take steps like check in with other parents, use curfews, and require their children to check in during the evening to prevent underage drinking. This is Emma Toms-Rosecka from Little Falls Community High School on behalf of the Stand Up For You Coalition and CHI St. Gabriel's Health.
AM 960 KLTF, online at fallsradio.com. It is a cold one here at Flyer Field. 3rd down, 10 yards to go. And the Wildcats have been throwing here. They had success on the ground. They've had success on the air, but a couple of incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, now 3rd and 10. And it's a handoff inside trap play, running now towards the edge 30, then knocked out of bounds by Shanoff up at the 24-yard line. Madison with the run and Shanoff with the hit, forcing him out of bounds, but not before a pickup of about 20 yards, and that's a 1st down New London Spicer. Clock is down to 13 seconds. Little Falls trying to keep the Wildcats out of the end zone. They'll have a couple of defenders standing back on their own goal line. 13 seconds remaining. 3 down linemen, and the Flyers will play some coverage here. Trying to refrain from allowing the Wildcats to score yet again here in the first half. Shotgun set, wide receivers, 3 out there, 2 to the right. Quarterback Edelman rolling that way, dropped in the flat by Madison with a defender bearing down. That might have been Shanoff in the vicinity, or Chakowski. Peyton Madison dropped that one, though, as it bounced off his chest. And the quarterback, Adelman, with as many incompletions here tonight as he had in the regular seasons, week 1 through 6. Week 7 has not been kind in that regard. A very efficient offense, but still New London Spicer up 34-0. The Flyers trying to refrain from allowing them in the end zone one more time here before half. Only 8.1 seconds left. Wildcats still with 2 timeouts have the ball. 2nd and 10 from the Little Falls 24-yard line. Empty back set. Adelman stepping up, throwing it high in the air in the end zone. It's a jump ball, and this one's incomplete. The clock hits zeros, and Little Falls stops New London Spicer for the 2nd time in the first half. The Wildcats forced a Flyer turnover. Little Falls forced a New London turnover. New London Spicer also with an onside kick recovered in the first half and scored 34 points. Flyers unable to score any points. They did have a very successful drive with 5 first downs on one drive, but it ended with a pick 6. New London Spicer, the big plays in the first half, allow them to have a very large halftime lead, 34-0, but Little Falls, some encouraging signs along the way, including a couple of defensive plays down the stretch to not allow the Wildcats to score again. The score at the break on the Rudolph Auto Solutions score update, New London Spicer 34, Little Falls 0. Halftime coverage. Al Winsberger had a chance to recap some of the scores from yesterday and Wednesday. Also, I had a chance yesterday to sit down with Trent Krupke in our Get to Know Him segment. That's on the way in our halftime coverage here, AM 960 KLTF, FallsRadio.com. Proud to partner with Flyer Media Productions. Halftime show starts next.
Hi, my name is Lindsay Wunderlich. I am a physical therapist at Advanced Physical Therapy. We are located in downtown Little Falls on the northeast side of the Mississippi River with a great view. We treat a wide spectrum of injuries and dysfunctions causing you pain or weakness which may be impacting your quality of life. We provide care to the orthopedic, pediatric population as well as those with vestibular disorders causing dizziness, vertigo, or general unsteadiness and imbalance. We also treat those who require myofascial release for chronic pain management. Come into Advanced Physical Therapy where we enjoy and take pride in helping people improve their quality of life and function.
At CHI St. Gabriel's Health, we're your hometown healthcare team. Our multi-specialty clinic is ready to assist with everyday needs for you and your family, no matter the age. From allergies and asthma to diabetes and heart disease, CHI St. Gabriel's Health team is dedicated to your family's wellness. Friendly faces and expert care, all close to home. Now that's a winning combination. Schedule an appointment or wellness checkup today. CHI St. Gabriel's Health. Better every day.
Wednesday, you had subsection individual tennis. Pierce Pioneers involved in that, and they made the smart move, and they moved it indoors. They were scheduled for Thursday this week, and that would have been hosted by Pierce, but holy smokes, that would have been wicked yesterday. So they did it indoors, and smart move. Advancing in doubles to Virginia this coming Monday, Laura Skiba and Becky Langer, along with the doubles combination of Abby Andrea and Kaylin Gritzmacher. Val Gall advanced in singles. Also competing in the singles for Pierce on Wednesday was Caitlin Smoody. Now, on Monday, they have those sections in Virginia, and also the section team competition will conclude. Somebody will go to the state tournament. Pequot Lakes and Evelyn Gilbert, Virginia and Pine City, they are the teams involved, and that comes up on Monday. Yesterday, it was soccer, and it was the opening round of playoffs. Little Falls Flyer boys hosted Alexandria, and the Cardinals 1-0 win. Little Falls finishes their year at 12-4 and one tie. And for Alec, they'll have Cathedral, who won 8-0 over Minnewaska. Detroit Lakes, they edged out Pelican Rapids 3-2. They'll have Bemidji 11-0 over Walker Hackensack Akeley. For Apollo, it was a 12-2 win over Melrose. They have Sartell St. Stephen, who won 7-1 over Ricori. Hillcrest Lutheran Academy, 6-2 over Fergus Falls. They'll have East Grand Forks, who had a 4-3 win over Crookston. From the girls' side of things, Little Falls, their season will come to a close as the Flyers ended up hosted by Sauk Rapids Rice, and the Storm come in with a 5-1 win. Little Falls finished at 5-12 in the season. For Little Falls, Sauk Rapids scored 5 minutes into the game, and then Little Falls tied it. A Trista Thiemer to Taylor Swantek off a free kick. Swantek turned and scored at the 9-minute mark. And then Sauk Rapids had 2 more goals in the half, and then they had 2 more goals to win 5-1. 3 shots on goal. Elena Jackson, 6 saves. Ending their season 5-12, the 4 girls who graduate: Emily Watuki, Maria Walensky, Hannah Hiddenstorp, and Jenna Bisker. Now, who also advances? Let's take a look at that there. I talked about the boys. So with that win for Sauk Rapids Rice, they have Sartell St. Stephen, who won 6-0 over Melrose. That is coming up at noon today. And then Detroit Lakes and East Grand Forks, they were the winners in that bottom bracket. The Lakers 6-0 over Walker Hackensack Akeley, and East Grand Forks 5-0 over Hillcrest Academy. And St. Cloud Apollo with a 5-0 win over Ricori. They'll have Cathedral, who blasted St. John's Prep 10-0. Fergus Falls 2-1 shootout win over Alexandria, and Bemidji with a 10-0 win over Crookston. And the quarters tomorrow, semis and finals will be coming up next week. From Thursday, what did you have? You also had swimming for Little Falls and Malacca. Little Falls wins the final event of the evening, and that gets them over the top to get the win over the Malacca Wolves, 95-91. It was Malacca's JV 92-52 win. We'll just go with the varsity. First of all, Caitlin Gustafson had a first in the 200-yard freestyle relay. Rachel Josephson first in the 50 freestyle relay. In diving, 1, 2, 3 for Little Falls, Emma Gustafson was first, and then you had Danny Schermers and Olivia Nearing second and third, respectively. Rachel Josephson had another first in the 100-yard freestyle for the Flyers. And then the next win you get, that was that final event of the evening, and you had to get it to win, it looks like, because it was 95-91. And the 400-yard freestyle relay, Caitlin Gustafson, Ella Rausch, Layla Waltman, and Rachel Josephson. For the JV side, some first places here. Maddie Dahlberg in the 200 IM. We also had first, second, and third in the JV for Little Falls. First was Jada Allholm, Mary Wallback second, and Madison Carper finished in third. And in the 400-yard freestyle relay for JV, Faith Roush, Maddie Dahlberg, Jada Allholm, and Mary Wallback. Just a note on that 400-yard freestyle relay varsity that ended up winning the event. Little Falls had 3:57.16 with that combination of Rachel Josephson, Layla Walton, Caitlin Gustafson, and Ella Rouse. They had 3:57.16. The team from Malacca had 3:58.66. So you're talking about a second and a half, the difference in that one. In volleyball, Royalton finishes up their last conference game and last regular season home match as they win over Long Prairie Grey Eagle 3-0. Junior setter Sierra Cotwell, 27 assists, and Emily Malakowski had 8 kills. They served 95% of the team in that one. Nice one, 3-0 win over Long Prairie Grey Eagle. Holding Fort at Kimball, and the Huskers come in with a 3-1 win over the Cubs. Nice, huh? They had Kimball Cubs. I like it. Paige Soltis, 25-27, 2 aces. Danielle Lyon with 3 blocks. Ari Schmidt, 2 blocks. Marissa Garrett, Jordan Patrick, 7 kills. Kendra Garrett had 6 kills. Ari Schmidt and Danielle Lyons, 5 kills. Paige Soltis, 25 assists. Kendra Garrett's 10 assists. Marissa Garrett's 31 digs. Holding Fort gets that win. For the Pierce Pioneers, they had Painesville. Painesville wins 3-0 in the varsity JV. Also wins for Painesville, as did the C team. Pierce's Hannah Creek had 5 kills. You had 11 defensive digs for Jade Porter, and you had 13 defensive digs for Kirsten Hebler. Little Falls, they had Foley, and the Falcons come in with a 3-1 win. Taylor Jordan, 16 set assists. Kristen Knopak had 18 kills and also 8 from the serving line. It looks like those are serving aces, right, S.A.? 8 serving aces. And then 18 set assists for Kaylee Ginter and 15 kills for Madeline Van Risingham. And those are the events that went on Thursday in high school sports. When you need your garbage removed, call Bob Lemire Roll-Off and Refuse in Little Falls. Locally owned and operated, Bob Lemire Roll-Off and Refuse is ready to pick up your garbage and save you money. No administrative fees, no contracts. They offer both commercial and residential service. If you need a roll-off, dumpster, or can, call them today. 320-632-5212. That's 632-5212. Bob Lemire Roll-Off and Refuse in Little Falls. Living and working with you in your community.
If you're getting mighty hungry, well, the best in the country is Pizza Ranch.
Planning a graduation party, company picnic, family reunion, backyard party, or even a wedding? The Pizza Ranch in Little Falls can help you with that special event with their group meals menu. Give them a call at 632-8333 and start planning today.
It's where life tastes better. Surround them up and head her down to Pizza Ranch.
Whoa, that's good.
Week 7 high school football halftime show here on AM 960 KLTF. And in our Get to Know Him segment, today we're pleased to be joined by Trent Krupke. He is a junior for the Little Falls Flyers. Good evening, Trent.
Good evening.
Well, let's start off by introducing yourself. Now, you're a name that we've heard a lot on the broadcast, and that's because you play a little bit of offense, defense, and special teams. What positions have you been covering this year for the Flyers?
I've been playing wide receiver, defensive back, kicker, and punter.
And what is it like trying to split off so many of those different aspects, because you can't be working on one specific position because you've got so many different duties out there?
It's been a lot to remember everywhere I'm supposed to be in the game, and it's been a lot.
And what have been the tricks that you've been able to use to make sure that you can keep everything straight and know on the offensive side the signals, the play calls, and the routes that you're supposed to run versus the defense?
Just a lot of studying, and a lot of it's just memorizing from past years, and it's all the same, which is nice.
And you talk about those past years. How many different years have you been playing football in particular for Little Falls?
I've been playing tackle football since 5th grade fab football.
And what is your favorite position that you play out there? So many different spots. What's your favorite play that you've had, or the position on the field?
I like defensive back. I like tackling a lot.
There's been a lot of those answers here this year, the physicality of football. Besides football, are you involved in any other sports or fine arts activities for Little Falls Community High School?
In the winter, I wrestle, and in the spring, I play baseball.
I'm glad to hear that, a well-rounded Little Falls student athlete. And how about outside of school and the school activities? What are some of your hobbies or interests that you do with some of the downtime?
I love to hunt and ice fish and play golf and just hang out with my family and my dog.
Now, this is, amongst other things, for Little Falls tonight, the final home game of the regular season, but it's also senior night, and yourself, you'll be a senior next year where you'll have that accelerated leadership role. But what have you been able to gain from the senior class this year? Has there been different guys that have taken you under their wing, or things you might be able to learn from when you become a senior next year?
Yeah, a lot of them have really stepped up this year when things aren't going right or we just need some leadership. They've been there to step up every single time, and they've been guiding our whole team, and it's going to be a big role to fill next year.
And when it comes during the student portion of the day, periods 1 through 6 or 7 here at Little Falls, what types of classes are you in, and what are your favorite classes that you're involved in?
I really like math. I like problem solving a lot. Yeah.
All right. Who's your math teacher right now?
Mr. Wilger.
I had him quite a few years myself, too. All right. Well, Trent, tell us a little bit about your family, too. This is a unique opportunity in our broadcast where we get to know the players a little more than just the names and numbers out there. So who are some of the folks that might be listening at home or perhaps even watching from the stands here tonight?
My parents, my mom and dad, my sisters. I have 3 sisters. My grandparents would be watching right now.
And we have time. Go ahead, run through their names. For those that won't call them by mom and dad, what are your parents' names, Trent?
Tara and Scott Krupke, and then my sister Callie. She's my oldest sister. My sister Hannah, and then my sister Leah. She's the second youngest.
Okay, so would that make you the which child?
The baby.
The youngest in the family. All right. Well, you're still about a year away from your senior year and plenty of time, but any early thoughts on is college in the future for you, or some of your teammates have even talked about military background or working jobs? Or what are you thinking about after high school? You just haven't got there yet.
I'm definitely going to college. I am thinking about becoming a chiropractor or somewhere along the lines of physical science. And
okay. Did any of your older siblings or parents go that route too, or are they trying to push you to one in particular school?
It's been tradition to go to NDSU, but my sister broke that last year going to Bemidji State, so I don't feel any pressure going anywhere.
All right. Well, we're visiting with Trent Krupke, the three-way starter for Little Falls between kicker and also a wide receiver, and then as a defensive back, that's your for the Little Falls Flyers. When running the wide receiver routes on the offensive end, you talked about the physicality. What is the most rewarding part of a wide receiver's play? Do you ever get to just level somebody with a block, or is it running that first down route? What do you enjoy most?
Most people would think it's the flashiness of catching that pass, but when you get off the field and your coach gives you a high five for that nice block, it's a good feeling. It really is.
Trent Krupke, one of the Little Falls Flyers. Well, thank you very much for taking time to get to know us here in our Get to Know 'em segment, Week 7 high school football. Thank you again, Trent.
Thank you.
Hi, Tom Demo here from North Risk Partners Demo Insurance Agency. Since 1999, our independent agency has been serving the central Minnesota area for both personal and business insurance. We are now positioned better than ever to grow and serve you and our communities as part of North Risk Partners, one of the top 5 independent insurance agencies in the state of Minnesota. We are still local and personal at the same location with the same great staff to serve you. So stop in and see us at 107 First Street Southeast in downtown Little Falls, or find us on the web at northriskpartners.com. Brenda, Lori, and I look forward to meeting with you.
Fleet Supply, True Value in Little Falls, is a proud supporter of Flyer sports. Fleet Supply has everything you need for all your outdoor and indoor projects. They have a great selection of tools, kitchen, pet, and paint supplies, footwear, hunting supplies, and so much more. Also, check out their great monthly bargains with tons of in-store savings. Fleet Supply, True Value, your complete farm and home store. Located at 1800 First Avenue Northeast. Behind every project is a True Value. Go Flyers.
It is 8:19 at AM 960 KLTF. Little Falls, streaming at fallsradio.com. 32 degrees on a mainly clear evening. We're still calling for clouds to be on the increase after midnight, and temperatures tomorrow in the upper 40s. 32 now, a chilly evening out there at Flyer Field as Corey gets ready to start our second half. And Corey's got a little bit of some halftime stats for us now, too, as we send it back out to him.
Well, thank you very much, Ron, for the Little Falls Flyers. They ended up with No points in the first half, but they did have one very long, sustained 5 first-down drive. Grant Litke ended up with a 30-yard reception on a 3rd down and 26 yards to go. They also drew the Wildcats offsides a couple of times. They were making very good progress down at about the 25-yard line and tried running a route in the flat, something Little Falls has done a lot of here throughout the course of the season. But on that particular route, Bennett, who's been one of the players of the game for New London Spicer, stepped in front of a pass in the flats, intercepted it. Kelly Bennett's grabbed the ball and was off and running. And he's got lightning quick blazing speed, fast as we've seen anybody here this season or maybe even in the last few years. A New London Spicer, a team that is loaded with seniors. One junior starting on defense, one junior on offense. Other than that, nothing but seniors. And this team is loaded for bear. But for the Flyers, they held strong. A couple of individual plays made throughout the course of the game. Think back on that late drive when the Wildcats were trying to knock in their 6th touchdown of the half, and Trent Krupke with an excellent defensive play on a deep thrown pass ball, about a 40-yard post route, and Krupke timed it perfectly, went up there, got it at its highest point before it got to the receiver who was waiting to catch. He had another touchdown pass. And that was just a perfectly defended play by Trent Krupke. And wouldn't you know that he was the one that we had the opportunity to visit with at our halftime Get to Know Him segment, an interview that we recorded last night with the team. We'll also be visiting with Austin Udy next week at halftime of the Week 8 high school football game. Little Falls next week will be on the road at Malacca. The schedule this year for Little Falls, their home football games, on paper, they had some really tough opponents. Dassel, Cokato, Albany, then Zimmerman, and now New London Spicer. But the Flyers on the road, they got the victory at St. Cloud State against St. Cloud Cathedral. Were in a game last week, actually led most of the first half against Foley, before a late touchdown ended up sending in a tie game going into the second half. Opening kickoff return for a touchdown for the Falcons really changed things in the second half, and Foley ended up winning by about 20 points last week. But Little Falls was in that game throughout. It was a well evenly played matchup, that battle for the bumper, and in this case, Foley reclaimed the plate. Little Falls had that traveling trophy until Foley reclaimed it from them on their homecoming this year. Little Falls next week will be on the road at Malacca for the final game of the regular season. So Little Falls and Malacca, and that's on Wednesday night. Wednesday night on AM 960, KLTF, and online at fallsradio.com. Little Falls will kick this one off end over end, and they'll be kicking from left to right. New London Spicer will receive the second half kickoff. Little Falls and New London Spicer on this Friday night under the lights. The Flyers, if the playoffs started today, they would be at St. Cloud Apollo. Little Falls is percentage points ahead of Rocori. Both teams are 1-5, and St. Cloud Apollo is percentage points behind Fergus Falls. The way the section is shaping up, it's looking like Little Falls will be either at St. Cloud Apollo or at Fergus Falls. Both of those teams are 3-3. The Otters started off 0-3. Little Falls was ahead of them, but since then they've rattled off 3 straight wins, including a 40-point win last week against Thief River Falls. Little Falls kicking from left to right, and the boot down the middle of the field, bouncing and picked up at around the 15-yard line, and hesitation tackle that time in the open field. Back at about the 35-yard line. 30-yard line is actually where it is. That's where it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Wildcats, who are moving from right to left across the radio dial. Just starting the second half of play. Couple of score updates for you. The Royalton Royals are 6-0, trying to go to 7-0. They're hosting the USA Patriots, leading 20-8. Royalton over Upsala Swanville. That game was at the half. Also, Piers right now is up 41-6 on the road at Painesville. Halfback run, initially going to get about 5 yards and then a push. And this gets all the way a 10-yard run across the 40-yard line. That Piers game is late in the third quarter, under 2 minutes left in the third quarter in that one, 41-6. Piers on top of Painesville. Quick-moving second half for the Pioneer Bulldog game on our sister station FM 94. And like this one, also broadcasting online, fallsradio.com, Little Falls Radio, partnering with Flyer Media Productions here tonight. Halfback, and then the toss on the reverse. Bennett has it. He's across the 50, cutting back across the field, 40. Now he's into the open field. High steps through a tackle, 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown. And Kelly Bennett's with a touchdown run on the reverse. But looking at all the personnel, I think there was a flag that was thrown that I missed. It is a penalty on the Wildcats. And once again, a touchdown by Bennett is nullified on the infraction. Penalty marker all the way back on the 39-yard line in New London Spicer. That was the line of scrimmage. It would have been about a 60-yard touchdown run. Instead, a holding 10 yards from the spot of the foul. It'll be about first down and 21 yards to go. Penalty about a yard behind the line of scrimmage. A handoff to Gideon Mischie, and then he tossed it back on the reverse play to Bennett. And Bennett bobbed and weaved through traffic, but a holding penalty at the line nullified the long touchdown run. Now Mischie with the halfback toss, 30, 35, cuts it back up the middle and tackled by a couple of Flyers, including, looks like maybe Grant Litke helping out with the tackle. Is a gain of 10, and it's going to be second down and 10 yards to go, as it was first and 21 after that penalty. Second and 10 for the Wildcats. 10:45 to play, third quarter. New London Spicer, Little Falls. Little Falls Radio here today. All the starters still out there for the Wildcats, up 34-0. Adelman back to pass, has a completion at the 48-yard line, across the 50, 45, still on his feet, fighting up to the 40. A gain of 19 yards on second and 10. And the ball goes from the 40 to the 40, but it's on the other side of the field, just shy of the Little Falls 40-yard line, near 20-yard pickup that time for the Wildcats. First and 10 now from the Little Falls 40. Karowski comes off the field here. I formation, man in motion is Bennett's. Bennett's on the wing. It's a handoff. And stutter step trying the outside. Now tackle made after a pickup of about 5 yards that time. Scott Crosswhite with the tackle for Little Falls. That last carry for the Wildcats by Jack Novak, sophomore halfback, getting his first action here now in the second half. Second down, 5 yards to go. Adelman, quarterback, the man in motion. It's Bennett. It's a halfback toss and has the first down yardage, tripped up. Nice tackle by Trent Krupke, but not before a first down run. And that was a run that time for Peyton Madison, who had a big first half, as many Wildcat players did. You know, Little Falls, one of the things we saw a couple weeks ago when they were hosting Zimmerman, they played all the way through and actually played very aggressively in the second half. Got a touchdown, got on the board, didn't roll over, so we'll look for hopefully the same thing here in the second half against the Wildcats. Adelman, play action, then slips as he throws, another incompletion. And he was lucky that one went into the ground because that was nowhere really near his target. Bounced about 2 yards in front of his intended wide receiver, and Adelman lost his footing as he was throwing the ball. That ball could have easily gone anywhere else, too. Ends up falling incomplete. Second and 10, 9:05. Clock stops on the incompletion. Opening drive of the second half. New London Spicer leading 34-0 here in Little Falls on the Flyers' final home game of the year. Wide receivers, one each side, I formation. Adelman under center. Handoff, Gideon Mischie straight up the gut. He's got the 25, touchdown. I mean, just like that. Speed right up the middle, and he might be the third fastest running back for the Wildcats, maybe even the fourth, as they've got their top running back, Sam Stageberg, who had about 600 yards coming into this one, who's hurt and won't be back until next week when he's at Albany. And Mischie, that time with a touchdown run. Now, extra point pending for the Wildcats. Griffin Dunning is the kicker. The snap, the hold, the kick is away, and through the uprights, it's true and good. So New London Spicer scores a touchdown, adds the extra point on the opening drive of the second half. Score, New London Spicer 41, Little Falls nothing. Flyers expect a kickoff in 30 seconds. KLTF, fallsradio.com.
A great way to keep your vehicle on the road is a new set of tires from Trotwin Service in Little Falls. Trotwin's will do all of your vehicle's regular maintenance, oil changes, transmission service, coolant checks, and maintenance and repairs on any foreign or domestic vehicle. Stop by, set up your appointment with Tommy at Trotwin Service in Little Falls. Trotwin Service 320-632-5141. 320-632-5141. Trotwin Service in downtown Little Falls.
AM 960, KLTF, fallsradio.com. Kickoff, end over end, is muffed momentarily, picked up at about the 20. Across the 25-30, now has a blocker, 35-40, into the open field, tackle from behind at the 45-yard line. Cormac Shanoff was spun forward, and he actually falls to about the 47, and that's where the referees will spot the Flyers, 1st and 10. Cormac Shanoff busted a few tackles that time on the return, got all the way up to the 47-yard line. A team with less speed on the pursuit might have surrendered a touchdown there. Little Falls, Cormac Shanoff, who's a fast, athletic player himself, caught from behind, just the speed at all positions. Big and athletic, the Wildcats are. Halfback toss to the line of scrimmage and getting a yard or so. Maybe 2 for Shanoff. He's shy of midfield. It'll be 2nd and 8. We'll give him a run of 2. So Cormac Shanoff with a gain of a couple. 2nd and 8 upcoming for the Flyers. Little Falls on the road next Wednesday at Malacca. Austin Udy, quarterback under center. One wide out, split wide left. Halfback toss that way. Shanoff is running backwards. He's back at his own 40. Now he's trying to get some of the yardage back, and he's going to lose about 6 on this play as he's tackled at the 43. A halfback toss him. Defensive pressure. The defensive end pushed the tackle all the way back into the backfield where Shanoff was receiving the halfback toss. He got bumped by his own offensive tackle and then had to run behind him and found himself 13 yards behind the line of scrimmage when he started to run forward and got about 4 or 5 of those yards back, but ball is spotted at the 44-yard line. It is 3rd down and about 13 yards to go for the Flyers. Empty back set, 1 tight end, 4 wide receivers. Snap goes over Udy's head. He got it back and throws this one away. And it might be an intentional grounding if they didn't get back to the line of scrimmage, and there's the flag. The flag came out. Austin Udy did everything he could. He grabbed the ball and then threw it, but the line of scrimmage was a 44, and that one looked like it went out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. Intentional grounding. That's a spot foul and loss of down. So it is still 4th down, and they marked the quarterback back farther, I think about 5 yards back farther than where he would have been if he was sacked. So this will be 4th and very, very long. Punt team coming out, and Krupke, the kicker, will be standing on his own 10-yard line. The initial line of scrimmage on this one was up near the 47-yard line after that really good return by Shanoff. Low snap, Krupke handled it, and this kick, low end-over-end kick, bounces rolls all the way past the 50-yard line to the 47. And that net, about 35, 40 yards of field position for the Flyers. A nice punt with a generous roll that time. Flyer punter Trent Krupke, and New London Spicer will start out 1st and 10 from their side of the 50-yard line. Flyers went backwards that time in a couple of back-to-back plays. And New London has it 1st and 10 from the 48. Adelman is still the quarterback for the Wildcats, and they've got Peyton Madison, the fullback. Gideon Michie is out there. It's a handoff to Madison. He stutter steps at the 50 and now dragging a defender along with him for about 5 or 6 yards, but brought down. A strong tackle that time by Scott Crosswhite. Was a little hobbled as he got up, but he was just holding on at the hips and with the low hit and tried to bring him down, but the powerful legs and body of Peyton Madison bringing Crosswhite, who's a bigger guy, a defender for the Flyers, along for the ride of an extra 4 or 5 yards. Quarterback Edelman under center, handoff Michie, straight up the gut, has a first down and then some. Now cut down at the 30-yard line, but not before a pickup of another 13, 14 yards, moving the chains on 2nd and short. It'll be 1st and 10, Wildcats from the Little Falls 30-yard line. Well, the score right now, New London Spicer 41, Little Falls nothing. Wildcats opened up the scoring, recovered an onside kick after the opening touchdown, went down, scored again, and have had a big lead ever since. 1st and 10, halfway through the 4th quarter. Shotgun set, 4 wide receivers. Adelman back to pass, throwing the bubble screen, this one incomplete. And for a quarterback who's not missed many passes this year in the cold weather tonight, he has been more errant throws tonight than the rest of the season combined. That one throwing behind the wide receiver. The Flyers had a couple of well-defended plays in the first half, knocking the ball away, but that one was just a bad pass. 2nd and 10 upcoming, 41-0 the score. New London Spicer in front. Edelman under center, I formation. Single back is Bennett is the wide receiver in motion, gets the toss. Their speedy back has the 30, cuts it up, hurdles a man. Now he's swallowed up by about 2 or 3 defenders, but gained about 17 yards on the carry. And it will be 1st and 10 for New London Spicer from the 13-yard line. We've seen the running backs for the Wildcats, pretty much every single one of them, utilize high steps, hurdles, spin moves, stiff arms. Lining up wide out, 1 wide receiver, tight bunch formation, handoff Michie. It bounces to the outside after bottled up initially. Now has the 10-5. He's in for a touchdown. That's not Michie. That was instead running the touchdown was Jack Novak, the sophomore, back in for a change of pace. Getting his 2nd carry of the game, and this one goes for a touchdown. Initial run was right up the middle, and the Flyers had that stuffed, but all of a sudden a hole opened up to the outside. Novak bounced it and got to the edge, ran it in. And the score now 47-0. New London Spicer up with an extra point pending. Dinink is the kicker. Kicks this one away, a low line drive kick, and it's through the uprights. He is now 6 of 7 kicking the extra points. The score, New London Spicer 48, Little Falls 0 on the Rudolph Auto Solutions score update. Back in 30 seconds, KLTF, fallsradio.com.
Fleet Supply, true value in Little Falls, is a proud supporter of Flyer sports. Fleet Supply has everything you need for all your outdoor and indoor projects. They have a great selection of tools, kitchen, pet, and paint supplies, footwear, hunting supplies, and so much more. Also, check out their great monthly bargains with tons of in-store savings. Fleet Supply, true value, your complete farm and home store. Located at 1800 First Avenue Northeast. Behind every project is a true value. Go Flyers.
AM 960 KLTF, fallsradio.com with Flyer Media Productions here tonight as we've brought you each of the home football games on Flyer Media Productions this year too. And the Little Falls radio station, we broadcast every Flyer football game, including next week on the road. This will be likely the final football broadcast for Flyer Media Productions. They're very unlikely to get a home playoff game. Kickoff fielded at the 28-yard line, out to the outside 30, and trying to advance past the 35. And ball carrier ended up near the 40-yard line. That might have been Shanoff again before he was brought out of bounds. We'll see where he might have stepped out, though. Referee on my side of the football field is saying around the 36-yard line. Actually going to spot it a little farther up than that, I think. There's a conference of referees on that far hash mark around the 38-yard line. It's a personal foul on the Wildcats, and it was after the play. Now, it's a 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, so if the initial line of scrimmage was around the 36 or so, that'd push it probably on the other side of the 50-yard line. See where they start marking off the yardage, but a 15-yard penalty on the Wildcats at the end of the play. And it'll be 1st and 10, Little Falls, from the New London Spicers side of the field. Well, the Flyers going into tonight, you had an idea on film that New London Spicer being this good, it was going to be a challenging night. But you want to play within yourself. Don't get too fancy. That was the game plan. See if you can build on a few things. They have the ball here on the Wildcat side of the football field. Stutter step move in the backfield, and a short gain that time for the ball carrier. 2nd and 9 upcoming for the Flyers. Shanoff with the carry. So 2nd down, 9 yards to go. Ball on the 48-yard line. Little Falls an opportunity here. Last couple of possessions starting up near midfield. This time on the New London Spicer side of the field. 4:44 and counting here in the third quarter. Scored New London Spicer 48, Little Falls nothing. Flyers 1 wide receiver set, 3 backs in the backfield, 2 side by side, and then a tailback dotting the formation. A wishbone back to pass. Back stay in for protection, and that pass sails. Running the post route that time. Intending to find Cush on the near side. Would have been about a 14-yard hookup, but ball went over his head. Udy had time to throw that time, and Cush was in single coverage. The Flyers having some challenges finding the throwing, getting the aerial attack going here in the last few games. After a very promising start to the season, running and throwing the ball, they've had their struggles here. Right on the line of scrimmage, 3rd and 7, throwing to Cush, and Cush can't come up with the grab. He was bumped right as soon as the ball got there and helped up by a couple of defenders, and it will become 4th and 7 or 8 yards to go. A punting situation likely for the Flyers here on the Wildcats side of the 50-yard line. The score, New London Spicer 48, Little Falls 0, 4:15 left, third quarter of play. AM 960 KLTF, Little Falls, fallsradio.com. Temperatures just dipping below freezing. This boot, a nice kick, and it's going to bounce at the 25-yard line, roll all the way down near the 10, and that's where it's downed. So bottling the Wildcats deep in their own territory. The Flyer defense will take the field. 4 minutes and 3 seconds left. All New London Spicer here in this one. Tackle Cancer Night. A few of the players wearing some pink. I see some of the pink socks out there, or armbands, Under Armour shirts. Even some of the fans here in the stands, whether it's pink blankets or sweatshirts, trying to show their support for the Tackle Cancer Night. Little Falls proud to raise some funds towards that Randy Shaver Battle Cancer Fund. Handoff Michie, and he bounces it outside, 15-yard line. Stutter step, starts up the sideline again and tackled there. Coming in to help finish that tackle. Long way to run that time for defensive lineman for the Flyers. Helping to make the tackle for Little Falls was Nicholas Garretts, but it is a 10-yard pickup. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. New London Spicer, quarterback under center, I formation, one wide out. Handoff fullback and hit after 5 yards and got about 7 or 8. Madison did before drop. Litke was the first to wrap up, and then Luke Karowski came in, finished off the tackle. It'll be 2nd down and short for the Wildcat offense. With the clock running here, 3:17 left in the 3rd quarter. New London Spicer 48, Little Falls nothing. Flyers at home here this year, 0-3, 3 very tough opponents, and this might even be their toughest of the year. On the road, they're 1-2. Handoff, Michie, and Michie is stopped near the line of scrimmage at first, but then fell forward and I think got enough for the 1st down. That was Madison actually with the run, and he did pick up the 2 yards. Only 2, but picked up the necessary 2 to move the chains on 2nd and short. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats from their own 33-yard line. 2:50 left, 3rd quarter of play. Piers is right now the number 1 seed in the section New London Spicer is in. They'd be the number 2 seed. Pioneers unbeaten and coasting to a victory here tonight on the road at Painesville. This one, a run in the backfield. A flag is thrown. Now has some field that they reverse back to the 50. Spin move. Tackle made on Novaks by Grant Litke, but the flag way back in the backfield. It was a play starting to the right and then all the way back across the field to the left, and a hole was opened up, but because of a holding penalty, and that 10-yard penalty will mean it's going to be 1st and very long for the Wildcats, probably about 1st and 21, I think, judging by where they started to mark off this yardage. Ball will be spotted at the 22-yard line. They need to get to about the 43, so 1st and 21 for the Wildcats because the holding penalty. 1st down did not count. It remains 1st down. AM 960 KLTF, and we've got a final score already. Piers defeated Painesville 47-14. Ron's our game engineer back at the radio station, but also tonight teaming up with Flyer Media Productions on AM 960 KLTF. This time, halfback toss, looking for the outside. Novak cuts it back inside. Spin move, falling forward, picking up about 10 or 11 yards. And it will be 2nd down and about 10 or 11 yards to go because that was on the 1st and 21. Tonight's Flyer Media Production crew, a director of tonight's broadcast, Adam Patrick. Graphics, Austin Moore. Cameras being done by Owen Kirker, Mark Deal, and producer Karen Warner. So thank you to our Flyer Media Productions crew on this Friday night under the lights. 2nd down, about 10.5 yards to go. Tight bunch formation, trips to the left. Quarterback in the shotgun. That's Adelman out there. 1:05 to play, 3rd quarter. And it's a halfback pitch. And running for the outside, running through an ankle tackle, the back, and now going to have 1st down yardage, and then knocked down by Litke, but not before a 1st down that time for Tim Time, a sophomore 165-pound fullback on the program, got near midfield. And another 1st down for the Wildcats, 1st and 10, New London Spicer. 48 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. The score, New London Spicer 48, Little Falls nothing. Flyers going to see if they can break that shutout in the 4th quarter likely when they get the ball back. Wide receivers, 1 each side, I formation. Adelman will allow the clock to run a little bit. Down to 25 seconds, and the quarterback takes a knee, and that will likely end the third quarter of play. It'll be second down and about 11 yards to go. And that will be the final play of the third quarter. I think some of the starters might be coming off here for New London Spicer after playing 3 quarters. The score, New London Spicer 48, Little Falls 0. We'll be back with the fourth quarter. And that's next here on AM 960, KLTF, fallsradio.com, and Flyer Media Productions. Fourth quarter in 1 minute. New London still has the ball, 2nd and 11 after a quarterback kneel.
Build your savings and have a chance to win. Wincentive Savings is Mid-Minnesota Federal Credit Union's prize-linked savings account. Each time you increase your savings balance by $25, you're entered into the drawing. Up to 4 entries per month. Prize drawings occur monthly, quarterly, and annually. You could even end up winning the grand prize of $5,000. Get complete details at Mid-Minnesota today. Mid-Minnesota Federal Credit Union. We're with you all the way. Federally insured by NCUA. Certain restrictions apply. Drawings take place the 10th of every month.
At Hilmerson Collision Center, we understand when you've had an accident, it can be a stressful time. That's why we minimize the confusion and inconvenience by handling the insurance claim for you. The experts at Hilmerson Collision Center take personal pride in providing a quality repair with quality service. As an additional service, we also work with Cabot Towing to help you through that stressful time for a collision repair from a name you can trust. Remember Hilmerson Collision Center.
AM 960 KLTF, fallsradio.com. Handoff in time is bottled up behind the line of scrimmage on a 2nd and 12 play and tackled. Grant Litke with the tackle in the backfield. A final score for the Piers Pioneers, 47-14 over Paynesville. Piers moves on to 7-0. The Royals were beating USA at last word. They're trying to get to 7-0 too. Third down, 15 yards to go. Handoff and bottled up at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of 1. This will be 4th and 14 for the Wildcats. 11:15 to play here in regulation. Activities Director Kevin Jordan, after going to some of the concessions, grabbed some popcorns, tossing them out to some of the fans here in attendance on the Flyer side. 4th and 14. And New London Spicer will be kicking this one away. Punter standing back at his own 34-yard line. And this punt, a low-lying kick and going to roll out of bounds at about the 33-34-yard line. Well, this is senior night for Little Falls. This is parents' night for Little Falls. And the Flyers, they're not going to end up getting a win here tonight. But one thing, the offense is going to want to get off the schneid and try and punch one in for a touchdown here. They'll do so against perhaps some of the backups here for the Wildcats, at least on the defensive side. Some of their starters are still out there for New London Spicer here, noticing. Kind of a mixed group. 3 backs, handoff, and at the 33-34-yard line, falling forward to the 35 is Isaiah Sloan, I think, that time with the carry. Sam Slagberg with the tackle. So he is into the game after not expected to play a lot of action here. He'll be playing next week when New London Spicer wraps up the regular season with Albany. I think New London would be the favored team in that one, but Albany a good club too. Always gives them trouble. Delayed handoff, fake to the first back, then Shanoff gets it, across the 40 to the 43, 44-yard line, and that's good for a Little Falls Flyer first down. Max Shanoff with the run. 9:10 to play here in regulation. And Little Falls moving the chains right there. And this is a handoff. Shanoff delays to the right, gets across the 45, then bursts forward to the 50. Tough run, wrestled down at the 49-yard line. New London Spicer territory. And it is second down, 4 yards to go. Mostly starters still out there for the defense, actually, as I'm noticing for the Wildcats. So this is still against the starting unit for New London Spicer. If the Flyers can put something together, they'll feel even better about themselves when they realize that. Handoff, right up the gut. This might be Litke. It was a fullback, lead back, or possibly cross-white. He didn't get much. It's going to be third down, about 3 yards to go yet. After a half-yard gain, 3rd and 3 upcoming. 7:55 to play. Regulation. The score right now is New London Spicer 48, Little Falls nothing. Flyers trying to get up on the scoreboard. Malacca lost to New London Spicer last week, 49-6. Flyers, that's who they face next week in Malacca. Handoff, the 50, and pulled backwards. Maybe a short loss by the runner Shanoff that time. And it's going to be 4th down, about 4 yards to go. See what the coaching staff does here with the ball near midfield. Now 7:15 left. Love to give your offense a chance to see if they can move the ball, but it is 4th down here. Might it be a punting situation a lot of the times. I think there's a new... Austin Udy got the play. Wide receivers, one each side. 4th down play. The Flyers are going for it. 4th and 3.5 yards to go. Long snap count. New London Spicer not jumping. Now the snap. 3-step drop. Throw to the near side. The catch is made and a first down. A grab that time for the Little Falls Flyers on the near side by Logan Schrader, the senior tight end. And that time made the grab on senior night, and that moves the chains, keeps the drive alive. And the score now, well, it's still 48-0. We're in running time with about 6.5 minutes left. The Flyers drive stays alive on the first down catch by Schroeder. Udy under center. Halfback toss looking for Shanoff, and Shanoff has to push this one inside as the edge was contained. It was a designed halfback toss to the outside, but the pursuit defense right there, guessing run all the way, and limited that run to a short gain. Second down, 10 yards to go upcoming. So Little Falls, New London Spicer here on this Friday night football game under the lights. Schedule ahead for the Flyers at Malacca on Wednesday. Malacca is taking on St. Cloud Cathedral tonight, so we're not sure how they did against the team the Flyers beat a little earlier this year. Play action. Toss in the flat. Litke's got it. He brings a defender along for a ride after a gain of about 5 or 6. Who's running to the outside. Grant Litke with the catch on senior night. One of the co-captains for the Flyers picks up about 4 or 5. This is still going to be third down and about 6 yards to go, as it was 2nd and 11 after a short loss on first down. 5 minutes to play, regulation. New London Spicer and Little Falls. Flyers trying to break the shutout. 3rd and 5, ball on the 40. Udy back to pass, and this one, is it almost reeled in? Incomplete. What an attempt that time on the near sideline by the receiver, Cush. He went down. He got a paw on it. And then there were a bunch of Flyer bodies in my way. I couldn't see the ball as he was trying to bring it in, but it's going to be about 4th and 5. And Little Falls will go for it once again after they converted 1 4th down on this drive. They'll go for it again here. Wide receivers each side. 1 to both sides, I formation. Quarterback Udy under center. Udy, hard snap count. New London not jumping this time. 3-step drop. It's a lob pass looking for the edge, and this one incomplete, intended for Cush. And that one just a little overthrown. Udy had plenty of loft on it, but was sending Cush farther to the outside, and He just couldn't catch up to it. It's incomplete, and that falls to the ground and is a turnover on downs. And there's running clock here in the fourth quarter, but with the change of possessions, the clock does stop at that time. So 3:52 left in regulation. 48-0. New London Spicer has the ball here with the I formation. Quarterback under center sends a man in motion. It's a halfback toss to the left, looking for the edge, then cutting it inside. Gain 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and close to 10 before brought down. A 9-yard gain on first down. This will be second and short for the Wildcat offense with 3.5 to play here in Little Falls. Little Falls and New London Spicer, Wildcats, they've been doing this to a lot of teams here this year. They lost their opening game. A bit of a head scratcher unless they just didn't have everybody with them. Halfback toss outside, now turning inside, and the ball came out maybe. Little Falls trying to jump on it, see if they got it. And some players are signaling they do, but it's up to the officials. Still no word yet. And it is Little Falls ball. Flyers came away with it. I think that might have been, at least judging by the reactions of some of the players, possibly Aiden St. Ange, a sophomore, that might have recovered that. He came very excited off the football field, but everybody's also giving quite a few hands to Scott Crosswhite. Maybe he was the one that came up with it. Couldn't tell as there were a lot of bodies jumping for the ball, and Little Falls got possession. So now 1st and 10 from their own 46-yard line. Halfback toss to Shanoff. Shanoff fights back to the line of scrimmage after pursued defense. Penetration got into the backfield, and Shanoff had to fight to get back to the line of scrimmage for no gain, maybe even a very short loss. 2nd and a long 10 upcoming for Little Falls. 2:20 left in regulation. New London Spicer will improve to 6-1, a game behind the Pierce Pioneers, who are 7-0, defending state champions in their class. But, this is the year for New London Spicer to do something if they've got a year. 1 wide receiver, 3 backs in the backfield. Halfback dive. And a gain of a couple, but it's going to be 3rd down, about 7 yards to go. And Little Falls will send in the play next. Cush comes off as Isaiah Sloan will go out there. Coach Bartos getting him the play, and he'll relay it to his quarterback. We're down to 1:27 left and counting because of the running time here in the fourth quarter. This quarter has gone very, very quickly. Ball just shy of midfield, 3rd down. About 8 yards to go. 1 wide receiver set. Single backfield. Looking downfield, throwing the go route for Sloan. Sloan's got it at the 25, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Isaiah Sloan. And with a minute left in the fourth quarter, the Flyers do break the shutout on the go route. Isaiah Sloan had to wait up for it and catch it on his back shoulder with his right hand. Then he spun around, stiff-armed the defender down to the ground, kind of high-stepping through the ankle tackle as he knocked the defender down, and then it was clear sailing into the end zone. He even got to slowly run in and jog in from inside the 10. Isaiah Sloan with a touchdown reception. And the Flyers are on the board with 1 minute left. They do break the shutout, 48-6. They come out with a 2-point conversion attempt. Sloan is lined up at wide receiver. 3 backs in the backfield. Handoff, Shanoff tries the right side, and he's in easily, untouched. Max Shanoff with the carry. And that's a 2-point conversion, and Little Falls on the board. Touchdown and 2 points. 60 seconds left in regulation. The new score is New London Spicer 48, Little Falls 8. Flyers avoid the shutout. They'll kick it away in 30 seconds. AM 960 KLTF FallsRadio.com.
That's 2 weeks earlier that a Fleet Supply, True Value in Little Falls, is a proud supporter of Flyer sports. Fleet Supply has everything you need for all your outdoor and indoor projects. They have a great selection of tools, kitchen, pet, and paint supplies, footwear, hunting supplies, and so much more. Also, check out their great monthly bargains with tons of in-store savings. Fleet Supply True Value, your complete farm and home store. Located at 1800 First Avenue Northeast. Behind every project is a True Value. Go Flyers.
AM 960 KLTF, FallsRadio.com, and Flyer Media Productions. Austin Udy touchdown pass to Isaiah Sloan, the sophomore to the senior. And Sloan gets a touchdown on this senior night. 28 degrees and clear skies here at Flyer Field in the hangar. Temperatures as low now as they're expected to be in the overnight hours. We're at our evening low. It'll slowly rise once we get to midnight and up to about 32, 33 before sunrise in the morning. 58 seconds left, and the Wildcats down that last kick at their own 21, 22-yard line. They'll start out 1st and 10, 58 seconds left. Could be a couple plays away from the end of this one. Flyers don't want to give up a touchdown after scoring one moments ago. And somehow the ball carrier ended up with it. I think a defender tried tackling in the backfield and spun the ball carrier all the way around, and somehow he stayed on his feet and then ended up running forward about 5 or 6 yards. The defense for Little Falls reacted like they thought the play might have been done with forward progress, but then the tackle was made, and it's a weird gain of about 6 or 7 yards. Fumbled snap, and the Flyers will warm the quarterback for a couple-yard loss, and with inside 20 seconds left, unless the Wildcats want to run another play, that might be the last play of the game. They've got some of their backups out there on the field. Would like to get one more snap off for them if possible. Down to 3 seconds left. Play action. Quarterback rolling to his side. Hits a receiver at the 35-yard line, and a big tackle right there. The tackle as the clock expires by Jake Chakowski. And that will finish this one. The final score ends up being New London Spicer 48, Little Falls 8. We'll take a 2-minute break and come back here to Flyer Memorial Field to wind this one down. Little Falls with the win, 48 fell in this one, 48-8. New London Spicer victorious. Flyers fall in their final home game. They'll try and rebound next week, but we'll be back with your post-game show next in 2 minutes. You're listening to Flyer Football Now post-game coverage, AM 960 KLTF and online fallsradio.com.
As teens, we learned a lot about safe driving in our driver's education classes. Wear our seatbelts, do not drive distracted, obey driving laws, do not drive impaired, and always focus on safe driving. This is Elizabeth Johnson from Little Falls High School reminding teens and all drivers that safe driving means being safe every time we get in a car. No distractions, no cell phones, no substance use, obey the laws, and always focus on safe driving. This is a message sponsored by Morrison County Safe Roads Coalition and Little Falls Community High School.
When you need your garbage removed, call Bob Lemire Roll-Off and Refuse in Little Falls. Locally owned and operated, Bob Lemire Roll-Off and Refuse is ready to pick up your garbage and save you money. No administrative fees, no contract. They offer both commercial and residential service. Whether you need a roll-off, dumpster, or can, call them today at 320-632-5212. That's 632-5212. Bob Lemire Roll-Off and Refuse in Little Falls. Living and working with you in your community.
Physical therapy provides care for individuals with pain, stiffness, weakness, and treatments specifically designed for post-surgical rehabilitation. The physical therapists at Advanced Physical Therapy in Little Falls are highly trained with doctorate degrees in physical therapy and have the experience and expertise to provide you with the most effective techniques and treatments to enhance your recovery and optimize function. Advanced Physical Therapy is a locally owned physical therapy center on the river in downtown Little Falls. For more information, visit advancedphysicaltherapymn.com.
Schlenner, Wenner & Company is a regional independent CPA firm that's dedicated to serving clients with professionalism and integrity. The firm's professional staff's attention to detail and personal touch promote excellent working relationships with their clients. The firm focuses on serving accounting, tax and business consulting needs of their business, individual, not-for-profit, and governmental clients. Renner, Wenner and Company in Little Falls, Albany, St. Cloud, Monticello, and Maple Lake, providing high-quality, value-added professional service since 1964.
AM 960 KLTF, online, fallsradio.com, and Flyer Media Productions proud to help out with tonight's broadcast, too, as head coach Joe Bartos is talking to his players down near their own goal line here with the final score tonight, 48-8, New London Spicer over the Flyers. You know, in a game like this, New London ends up winning. They go to 6-1 on the season. The Flyers fall to 1-6. We knew going in this was going to be a challenge. Games are not won on paper, won and lost. You still got to show up and give the credit to the Wildcats. They didn't overlook the Flyers. They came out playing hard here tonight. Little Falls gave them some fits in certain situations. They won individual plays, but the Wildcats did win the overall night, 48-8. Big plays for the Wildcats in abundance. Kelly Bennett's a running back, wide receiver. He's a senior. Actually, their entire team starting on offense and defense with one exception on both sides of the ball. 10 of their 11 starters are seniors on offense. 10 of 11 are seniors on defense. They had seniors on the bench. They had seniors that were injured that are coming back from injury in the coming weeks. New London Spicer is going to be a tough out. And speaking as a Morrison County fan, I'm kind of excited to see what's going to happen when they square off with the defending state champions in their class, the Pierce Pioneers. Now, both teams will have to get through a couple of games before they see each other. Pierce likely would have a first-round bye, and New London Spicer would have to win 2 in a row before they get to that section title game. But I would expect New London Spicer and Pierce to meet for a trip to the state tournament, and whoever wins that one might end up going farther than that. Pierce ended up winning 47-14 tonight on the road at Painesville, and New London Spicer 48-8 over Little Falls here tonight. The Flyers, they had trouble moving the ball early on. Offensively, it's been a struggle here over the last few weeks trying to get sustained drives, and the defense on the field holding up. And you know, if you're on the field for that long, sometimes you're going to give up big plays. They had individual plays they won. I remember back late in the first half, Trent Krupke knocking a pass away, and individual plays like that things did go really well for Little Falls. But overall, the Wildcats just too much on this particular night, throwing the ball, passing the ball, defending the ball, and interior rush, penetration on the line, and protection galore. And the Wildcats too much for Little Falls here tonight, 48-8. Well, this is senior night also. We want to give a shout-out to our high school seniors on the football team, starting now with the managers, Hannah Becker and Kylie McGee. Also the senior players for Little Falls, Teddy Lindstrom, Isaiah Sloan, Derek Kirk, Kristen Reedy, Logan Schroeder, Grant Litke, Colin McKinley, Thomas Kula, Mason Dempsey, Nicholas Garretts, Luke Vensky, and Connor Zare. Those are all the seniors for Little Falls. And tonight they end up falling 48-8. Shout out to Flyer Media Productions that's been with us here throughout the course of this cold evening. Clear skies and a cold evening on this Friday night football game. Little Falls will be at Malacca on Wednesday night, and then they will end up going to they're going to end up going on the road either at Fergus Falls or at St. Cloud Apollo, likely in the first round of the playoffs a week from Tuesday. Tonight's Flyer Media production crew, director Adam Patrick, graphics Austin Moore, cameras running Owen Kirker and Mark Deal, and the producer of tonight's broadcast, Karen Warner. And as this is the final home game, Joe Bartow still talking with his players here at Flyer Field, so we'll respect him. Not sure how long that's going to go. Actually, he is going to make his way up to the broadcast booth, so we'll keep it here and we'll continue talking. If we can, let's take one more time, a 1-minute break, and see if we'll be able to be joined by Coach Bartos of the Flyers. We'll be back in 1 minute. You're listening to Flyer coverage here on AM 960 KLTF and fallsradio.com. Back in 1 minute.
Hi, Tom Demo here from North Risk Partners Demo Insurance Agency. Your Still local and personal at the same location with the same great staff to serve you. So stop in and see us at 107 First Street Southeast in downtown Little Falls, or find us on the web at northriskpartners.com. Brenda, Lori, and I look forward to meeting with you.
Touchdowns are big. So are diving catches and goal line stands. Nose tackle sack celebrations are big too. But subbing in the third chair oval player to run the old fumble-rooski with the game on the line, that's all kinds of big. Just like game day when you order from Pizza Ranch. Visit PizzaRanch.com all season for all kinds of big deals.
AM 960, KLTF, FallsRadio.com, and Flyer Media Productions. And this evening, producing the football game, Little Falls hosting New London Spicer. And we're pleased to be joined in our post-game show by the head coach of the Little Falls Flyers, Joe Bartos. Joe, we knew this was going to be a challenge, and that was a very, very good football team. It's not like Little Falls played a terrible game. It's just that was an example of how good and talented New London Spicer is.
They are. We played fairly well, offensively and defensively and special teams. New London Spicer, I was telling the kids down there, in the last 4 years that I've been here, that's probably one of the two best teams that we've played. They are exceptionally good.
Yeah, they really are. Seniors all across the board, speed and size, and Little Falls held up to it, and it wasn't like they dominated the entire game, but there were individual plays I was telling our broadcast crew about here tonight, as some of those down the stretch, these were starters on the field most of the night for New London Spicer, but individual plays, like how about that stop late in the first half on the Wildcats, a couple of defensive plays. Trent Krupke played a play almost perfectly, knocking a ball away on a deep throw.
Yeah, bump set spike there. That was well played by Trent. He actually made a couple nice plays tonight too. Made a couple touchdown saving tackles as well. Trent played very well.
Yeah, and for Little Falls, you had some trouble because of the offensive line, defensive line holding up, but it started off pretty tough. Using a hard snap count seemed to back off their pass rush a little bit. Was that something you saw in the coaches' room that you knew you were going to try and do because they had so great of size and speed up front? You had to come out with a plan to try and slow down that pass rush.
Absolutely. That's one of those things we look at film, and you can watch previous teams play, obviously New London Spicer as well, and you take a look at things like that. How does that D-line react to hard counts? When other teams try to basically do the same concept, how do they react? And they do. They jump. And when they don't jump, like you said, it does slow them down when we vary our snap count that much. So that was effective for us tonight.
And for Little Falls, there were a lot of seniors that got on the field here tonight. And on senior night, a big portion of the evening, it was focused on them, and for good reason. And why don't we give another shout-out to the entire senior class for Little Falls.
Yeah, again, the seniors are it's a phenomenal group of young men. We've got a few guys that we actually just adopted in this year who are brand new to football, in fact, who are part of our senior group, and they've really stepped up and just been great, classy guys. People like a Colin McKinley, tremendous young man. Teddy Lindstrom, stepping in. Christian Reedy, these are guys who I am very, very thankful that became part of our football team this year. That whole senior group, two of our managers here are seniors tonight. They've been with us for the last 4 years. Just across the board, wonderful human beings that I'm very proud of, and I'm very thankful that I get to be their head football coach.
Yeah, you see them on the athletic side and listen on the radio here tonight, but it's also neat when we have the opportunity for those interviews, because these are student athletes and well-rounded individuals becoming young adults, and that's exciting because as great as individuals as they are, it reflects well on the school and also the overall Little Falls community. So I'm sure our listening audience, our sponsors, and everybody listening can be proud of the young people that they are becoming. For Little Falls, looking ahead, they've got a very short week because of what used to be called MEA week, the 3-day school week next week, and you got a football game against Malacca, a tough game here tonight, a physical game, but hopefully players that they seem to get through relatively healthy, no serious injuries tonight.
No, a couple little bumps and bruises, but we're going to come out of this game healthy. Like we talked about in the pregame, we're going to have a couple of guys who are going to be able to rejoin us next week and be able to play, and that's certainly going to be able to help us out a lot. one of the, and it's kind of a bummer, obviously, when kids are hurt, but it does give other kids the opportunity to be able to step up and play. And there are some guys who did that tonight, and we saw quite a bit on the field, and it'll be fun to go back and watch it on the film as well. Some guys stepping up and giving us, some different looks and some different tools that we can walk into next week with.
Yeah, and for the Flyers, you get the Malacca Wolves. Usually you're always just kind of focused on 1 week ahead, but because we're into week 8 of the high school football season, I'm betting you've seen numerous games for Malacca. What do we know about them already, just because you've scouted so many other teams this year?
We have. The funny thing is about the schedule the last 2 years, basically whoever we played the next week played Malacca that week, and so it's we have, I think, almost every game that Malacca has played on film, so we've seen them plenty this season. It's a football program that's continually gotten better over the last 2 seasons now, so they should be very excited over Malacca. That being said, this is a football game that we're certainly looking forward to. We're talking to the boys down there that right now are ahead of Rocori in the QRF, or our section standings. And if we're able to take care of Malacca, we stay ahead of Rocori and give ourselves a better seed in the playoffs. So we have a lot to play for.
And that'll be on Wednesday night here on Little Falls Radio. But a shout out to Flyer Media Productions helping us out. Any final thoughts here before we close this one out? New London Spicer victorious, but Little Falls, another thing we talked about a couple weeks ago, Coach, was when Little Falls was down big at the half, they didn't roll over, and that's something that shouldn't be taken for granted, because they continue to play very hard down through the stretch, including getting that touchdown with about a minute left.
They do, and this is a group again tonight that we saw that it didn't matter what the score was on the board for them. They continued to fight and to play hard for each other, and to play hard for us as a coaching staff, which is exactly what we ask these young men to do. And again, it shows their class and their pride in themselves and what they're trying to accomplish and what they're trying to do.
Joe Bartos, head coach for the Little Falls Flyers, joining us in our post-game coverage. A shout-out to our game engineer, Ron Specker, back at the studios. Also, tonight's Flyer Media production crew, the director, Adam Patrick, graphics, Austin Moore, cameras were done by Owen Kircher and Mark Deal, and the producer of tonight's broadcast on Flyer Media Productions, Karen Warner. And I've been the voice of Flyer football here this season, whether it's Flyer Media Production or on Little Falls Radio, AM 960, KLTF. Corey Fink, glad you could join us for this evening. Kudos to New London Spicer. It's a great football team. They won here tonight. That's a talented squad, and they're going to be a tough out come playoff time. Little Falls, glad they're not in their section. New London Spicer 48, Little Falls 8. That'll wrap up tonight's broadcast. Thank you for listening and viewing for those on Flyer Media Productions. We'll hear from our sponsors in just a moment. This is Corey Fink wishing you a good night. For our radio audience, remember, Flyer football Wednesday night at Malacca, 7 o'clock kickoff, 6:40 pregame. We'll see you then.